Arizona. It's a good matchup. This is obviously a divisional foe. The team that you felt like you're going to be competing with in the division is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Here's Schaefer and Sliwa.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Schaefer and Sliwa, Friday afternoon, America's finest city. Great show lined up for you over the next 3 hours. Padres in Mexico.
Let's go.
Mexico City, one of the great cities in the world.
Literally, let's go.
We should go. So the Padres in Mexico City, I'm sure a lot of Padres fans as well. And Kevin Acee is in Mexico City, our Padres insider. He will join us in 1 hour at 4 p.m. In addition, coming off a sensational freshman year for the Aztecs, Tay Simmons, fan favorite forward for the Aztecs. He's back for year 2 on the Mesa. He will join us coming up at 3:30. Chris Johnson.
That dude, by the way, just real quick, he's got an NBA body.
Doesn't he? We were talking about it earlier. He's got a really bright future. Had a very good freshman year. Congrats to Chris Johnson,
Awesome.
the Aztec cornerback,
stuff.
27th overall to the Miami Dolphins. There's worse spots to land than Miami, I feel like, if you're a player that's out of Southern California.
Great location, but football-wise, they got work to do.
Well, they have the lowest win total in football for next year. Because I was on a podcast today with the Dolphins podcast. They said the win total was 4.5, but he said there's not a lot of pressure. And he's going to get a chance from day one. And if they win 4 games, they win 4 games. You know, there's not a ton of pressure you're walking into.
He got to a great city. Now they got work to do.
They do have work.
I want to see him compete in the league.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a chance to start really from day one. So we'll talk more about that. In fact, Chris Johnson was on the show this week. You'll hear what he had to say about his future and San Diego State's future actually coming up later this hour. But this weekend for the Padres, a rare Friday off day. They've already had a rare Sunday off day this year. But they'll play Saturday and Sunday against the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team we've rarely, if ever, brought up over the first 4 weeks of the show. We've talked often about the Dodgers, for example, and of course the Padres. Mm-hmm. But here are the Diamondbacks off to a nice start. Not as good as the Padres, but 14-11, I believe, overall. Are they 14-11? They were
14-11, yeah.
14-11.
They won 9 of 14, something like that, yeah.
Vying for a playoff spot, similarly to San Diego this year. And these are two teams we spent a lot of time, again, looking at the top of the NL West, Padres-Dodgers dynamic, of course, in Southern California. But these two teams might be fighting for the same playoff spot 3 or 4 months from now.
Let me first just say this. There's something that you just said in that open that you had there that, man, they just screwed up my Friday. Padres screwed up my Friday.
Okay, look, because they're not playing.
Brother, what's going on here?
Yeah, it is weird. I don't like
We don't have a game on a Friday?
Yeah, I'm like, they got to travel, but it's first class.
Well, okay. Why don't we go? Which one would you rather have had? They play Friday, Saturday, Sunday off?
Sunday.
I like Sundays too.
Yeah, me too.
Sunday, I'm a fan of Sundays.
Play 3 there and take Monday off.
Take Monday off.
Play 3 there. The 2 is short for me.
Monday I can take no game on Monday.
Yeah,
I'm accustomed to
days, yeah.
Not accustomed to a Friday.
I agree.
Freaking went to the grocery store today. I don't know if you are you a peanut guy? Like
do we eat them or?
Yeah, like are you cracking shells and having peanuts?
You have talked about this like 4 times.
Let me listen. I like watching.
No, I don't want to crack the shells. It's too much work. I just want the peanut.
No. You got it. The work is necessary. It's like you
and
feel
the
like
shell is in my mouth.
Oh no, it's not. It's messy. Don't tell me that's not. I'm not telling you it's not messy. The reason why we talked about it is because I said the first thing I do when I go to a baseball game
is you buy the peanuts
and a beer, and like let me get 2 innings in. Just sipping on my beer and having some peanuts.
Okay.
Today, I go to the grocery store and they're selling, obviously in SD, they're selling the San Diego, the San Diego logo of peanuts. Peanut. And I'm like, I'm grabbing them. I'm all good. And I'm like, they don't even play today.
Hold on. I have a timeout though.
Yeah.
You can't buy, this is my personal opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. 877-767-4760 or text us.
I mean, you can't buy.
Here's why.
Tell me what I can.
No, here's why. I'm going to tell you. 70470 start with team. Any food that cannot be eaten inside, there's too many caveats. I can't bring the bag of peanuts inside. I got to watch the game now outside.
Park?
I respect it.
You're going to go eat outside?
Yeah, at the ballpark, it makes sense. To your point, you throw the shells. Yeah. Great. I'm 100% with you. But what am I supposed to do at the supermarket? I pick up a couple of packs of peanuts. Where do I eat them?
I'll tell you. We can walk through this a little bit if you'd like.
Where are you eating?
Because there's a little bit of a game plan. Got to have 2 bowls. Okay, one bowl that you're putting the peanuts in, the other bowl that you're putting the shells in.
No, that's what I do with cherries.
Yeah, you do the same thing with cherries.
But cherries don't get all over the place.
They don't get all over the place. certain sacrifice that you're going to have to make.
Wow.
You're going to have to basically live with.
You are dedicated.
It's going to be. You're going to have things kind of getting all over the place.
So them that's part of Friday.
Now listen, I got other stuff. We're watching Lakers tonight. There's other stuff going on.
Lakers,
but
right?
that doesn't really go. Baseball's a slow enough sport where I can kick back, man. I can walk around, I can do some things. Basketball, it's like I got to watch every single play. Baseball, it could be in the background and you don't miss a pitch.
But is it because basketball's played inside and you're thinking subconsciously, like, I'm not trying to eat peanuts inside?
John,
you hadn't thought about that.
There's no world where where I'm eating it is stopping me from eating it.
I can't eat them inside. Like just the idea of having peanuts here right now, that scares me. They'd be all over the place.
What's the problem? So just clean it up.
I got to get a vacuum.
Okay, it takes 2 seconds.
It's true. You love peanuts. Is it a top like 3
I'm here to defend.
Snack in terms of a snack?
Yeah, they're up there.
Oh my gosh.
Now, is this more of a you issue, John, or
Probably.
Your wife will kill you issue?
Oh, she would kill me if I ate peanuts in the house.
That's why you should do it.
I should.
Yeah, you should just be like, listen, talking with Al today.
Throw them on the ground.
I'm doing peanuts all the time.
You know those restaurants?
Five Guys. I think Five Guys did.
Yeah,
Five Guys.
Throw them on the ground. Yeah.
Just every step that you took, you crunch all the way.
What does this have to do with the Padres?
I'm excited. Very excited about this weekend. Just disappointed we didn't have a Friday night game. That's all. That's the only point that I wanted to wait. I think we had a game earlier this year. They didn't play on like a Sunday, right?
Easter, right?
No, not Easter.
Before Easter.
It was earlier. I think it was like literally they played.
The first Sunday.
It was the first Sunday. And I'm like,
yeah,
I can't do this. There's certain days that I got to have Padres baseball. You mentioned something, and this is a roundabout way for us to get there. Every time I see this a lot, and I understand why I see it. I completely get it. I don't want people to, I get where it comes from. I see a lot of accounts up there. And I think the reason why they're taking a snapshot of the standings is because the Padres have one of the best records in all of Major League Baseball. What I don't want to see is when people are trying to show on, April 24th or something along those lines, that the Padres have a better record than the Dodgers. I genuinely do not care where the Dodgers are in the standings because I do think when the dust settles, there's a good chance that the same thing that's happened over this 10 plus years, they'll probably be on top of the NL West. To me, these weekend games against the Arizona Diamondbacks, these are the type of games that I really pay attention to. I want to know how the Cubs are doing this year, how the Brewers are doing this year, how St. Louis is doing. Any of these Atlanta Braves, any of these other teams outside of the Dodgers in the NL, and the Arizona Diamondbacks are one of them. And even more important because they're within your division, and you're going to face them 13 times this year.
Yeah, this would be like, this happens in a lot of sports where like you have a rival. And by the way, I do believe we've reached the point. It's probably a topic for another day. It's been discussed, forever.
Sure.
But I do believe we've reached the point where the Padres and Dodgers, there is that rival component to it. I get it. The Dodgers have won World Series and the Padres haven't. I get it. They've had the leg up. There's no question about it. But
there's something there.
Bill Shakin is writing in the LA Times this week when the Giants beat the Dodgers, that the Dodgers rival, the Padres, has gotten even with them in the standings. So, they're writing that now in the LA Times.
Maybe not historic, but now, those two squads are playing against each other. It's different.
But here's the thing. So, it's like sometimes, use the NBA or the NFL. It's like in the NBA, who's the biggest Lakers rival in modern basketball?
Celtics.
Okay, true, but different conferences. It's hard maybe in the NBA. I was going to say
Spurs.
If you're a Lakers fan, you're not really thinking about the Clippers. But maybe the Clippers are thinking about the Lakers. I don't know. I'm not even making the great point though.
I know what you're talking about. And I don't think it's I think there's a lot of teams out there that it's very natural for them to think about their rival, especially when you're chasing that rival, especially when your rival has just is having an incredible amount of success right now. Is that the point that you're referring to?
No, what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to do the Clippers-Lakers thing because I'm trying to put the Padres on a similar footing to the Dodgers, even though I know they aren't. What I'm saying is some teams just,
Denver,
I remember back in the day.
Might be the Nuggets.
Hear me out. Back in the day, the NFC East was the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, at the time the Washington Redskins, and the Arizona Cardinals. They were 5-team divisions. Guess what? No one in Philadelphia, Dallas, DC, New York City cared about Arizona.
Sure.
So it's like you didn't, even when they were having a good year, you didn't use them as a measuring stick. And that's how I feel a little bit about the Diamondbacks. It's like a lot of people focus so much on LA. But to your point, and I think our collective point, you should be spending just as much time on the Diamondbacks.
And it's not even just as much time, but that could be the squad that either prevents you from making the wild card or is the difference of having home field or not having home field. That's the only point that I'm trying to make. Yes. You're going to play 13 games against the Dodgers. Of course, each one of those games are going to be important. They're going to be exciting. Listen, if we're sitting here on August 1st and the Padres are neck and neck with the Dodgers for the division, then maybe it's a different conversation.
I think so.
If the Diamondbacks fall back and they're 8 games behind the Padres by July 1st, then we'll have a different conversation. My point is that the games like the Diamondbacks, the Padres and the Diamondbacks, to me, these are just as important as any game against the Dodgers, as any of these other games where you feel like, oh, we got to get up for this team, because most likely what's going to happen, you're playing for second in the NL West. I don't like saying that, but that's just kind of the truth. It's the truth from the history of watching this division play out. So this weekend against Arizona, I think it's going to be a great series. I think it's a good test for the Padres. You got the Cubbies after that, which is going to be another great test. That wherever they are in the standings, I think there's going to be some games against NL opponents and NL West opponents that are just as important as facing anybody else.
Here's the amazing thing early on about the National League, and we touched on this yesterday. You did specifically. The National League has gotten off to a much better start by record than the American League. So yes, the Padres have played some of the best baseball in the sport. They have at 17 and 8.
Everybody's next to them. That's
so has everyone else. The Dodgers, even the Diamondbacks at 14 and 11. But the Cubs and Reds are 16 and 9. The Braves actually have better records right now, or similar record at 18 and 8. So it's interesting how this plays out. Because like, well, at 17 and 8, you should feel pretty good about their chances, right? Just in general. And I do. I think the start goes a long way.
Only a couple of games from a lot of these other squads.
That's the thing. I mean, you're in a similar spot to a lot of these other teams right now. And I do agree with what you said. I think if the Padres played the Cubs last year at home in that series, I think they win the series. And I think because they had to play that series at Wrigley Field, that was the difference for the Chicago Cubs. And that's why it is paramount this time around. If you're not winning this division, we all recognize it's hard. You got to have as good of a record as possible to secure a home playoff series. And we're way ahead of that. We're way too early for that, but it's something in the back of my mind because it is significant, I feel like.
Yeah, so it's kind of go back to the front of this entire thing. To have games in Mexico City, it's going to be exciting. Obviously, the 17 and 8 start, phenomenal. But you got, I think, some opponents coming up, which is going to be fun to watch how the Padres go up against some of the better opponents in the NL.
Yeah, Arizona against your point 14-11. Cubs back here at Petco 16 and 9. All right, more on the Padres on the other side. What would it take for the Padres to be Mexico's team? Like when you think about Mexico and baseball, like do you think about the Padres? I was there. There were thousands of Padres fans 3 years ago. But are they Mexico's team? We can discuss on the other side. In addition, Tay Simmons coming off a sensational freshman year, the Aztec freshman forward. He'll be back for year 2. He'll join us live at 3:30. Kevin Acee from Mexico City joins the show at 4 p.m. We're just getting started here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We are live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the Bonus Bucks contest. Listen every hour, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up soon on San Diego Sports 760.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa with you. Tay Simmons, Aztec, heading into a sophomore season forward, will join us live in about 11 minutes. Kevin Acee from Mexico City will join us at 4 p.m. Padres, as we've referenced a million times over the last 48 hours, in Mexico City this weekend.
Peanuts tonight.
You're going to be eating peanuts tonight.
Yes.
When you think Mexico and baseball, do you think the Padres have like a lion's share or a portion of that market? Like how they market, for example, to Baja, their relevancy in Tijuana, their brand in Mexico City or Monterrey, where they played 8 or 9 years ago against the Dodgers. Like, A, what does their brand signify across the border? No team in baseball is closer to Mexico, of course, than the San Diego Padres. And then B, where does the brand stack up with others? For example, the LA Dodgers, who of course had Fernando Mania going back to the 1980s, Mexican-born pitcher that took baseball by storm. Is there room for growth with the Padres when it comes to interest, brand awareness, and more in Mexico?
You know, in a weird way, I feel like the brand of the Padres has been around since 1969, right? That's when the franchise started here in San Diego. But doesn't it feel like the brand is under this complete restructure in the last maybe 10 years or so? That's important because I think there's a lot of, you can be a business or a company that exists for a number of years. Then you hire this new marketing team and all of a sudden the brand looks different. It feels different. The San Diego Padres brand today is much different than it was in the, 2010. It's much different than it was probably in the 80s, even though they made it to the World Series in 84. My favorite generation of Padres baseball is when I'm in high school, and in 1998 they're making a run, and San Diego is going crazy. Qualcomm Stadium, and you got all these unbelievable players. To answer your question, I think I don't know what the brand is in Mexico. I do know when I went to Japan, I saw a lot of Padres hats, like which threw me off. I saw a lot of Padres hats, and every time I saw somebody, I'd like compliment them, like, hey, it's a great hat, whatever the case is. So I was surprised by that. I don't know what it is in Mexico. I really don't. I think your point about the Dodgers and obviously Fernando Valenzuela, like, listen, that was, you're right. That completely took all of baseball by storm. And there could be a ton of fans that were around in that era that are still fans of baseball today and probably still fans of the Dodgers today because of that. So I think that whatever they are today, I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth. And I think they've probably, just like they have in San Diego and other markets and in Major League Baseball as well, there's a lot of people talking about the Padres today a lot differently than they were maybe 10 years ago. So maybe Mexico is one of those markets too, where they're starting to look at the Padres a little bit differently.
I always say like the blue Padres, the navy Padres, that's like a different era. Like that bland look when Machado first got here, Tatis first got here.
I don't know what it was.
It's changed.
I have no idea what it was.
But here's the other thing I would say. We have to recognize this. Well, maybe there is room for growth with their brand internationally, whether it's Mexico, Asia, elsewhere. No one draws like the Padres in terms of percentage to capacity in baseball. Not even the Dodgers. As in, they sell as many seats that are available to them as anyone in the sport. They're going to draw over 3 million fans. So on one hand, where I'm like, it'd be interesting. Like, could they do more outreach in Baja? Could they play games in Tijuana, for example?
Be amazing.
And I agree with that. And I do think there's a reason to do that. I also have to recognize that the Padres can play the Rockies on a Tuesday night in May and have 44,000 people in the building, which is a credit to what they've done, obviously, here in San Diego, maybe people coming up from across the border as well, wherever they're coming from, south, north,
right?
Not as much
Doesn't
west,
matter.
but east, wherever they're coming from. So I do. So on one hand, the Padres brand, to your earlier point, has grown dramatically over the last decade.
And it is different. Yeah.
But on the other hand, I do feel like there is growth for them. Specifically with all these international games. They've played 3 times in 4 years out of this country, twice in Mexico City, once in South Korea. I do think there's more room for growth, and I think there's a reason that they've wanted to try to play games internationally.
Yeah, and listen, I think even in just San Diego, I'm gonna give an example of, this is one example. I'm Middle Eastern, right? I would say most people from the Middle East, their sports, they love soccer, they love the NBA. There's a huge Middle Eastern culture, East County. I'm just using, again, this is just one example. Today is different 10 years ago for a lot of even Chaldeans or anybody that's in the Middle East. You see a lot more people within the community rocking Padres gear. That wasn't always the case.
Interesting.
As in, look in 10 years how quick the brand changed. And this could be any culture, right? Like, I'm not even talking about just the Middle Eastern culture. The point is that there's room for growth with forget Mexico for a second. There's room for growth in San Diego.
I mean, you could grow in South County. You could grow in North County.
100%.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
So I say that because if there's room for growth in SD, imagine what type of room there is for growth just across the border. And obviously in Mexico, of course, there's unbelievable amount of growth. A lot of it has to do with what's your brand look like? What's the image your brand is giving off? Are you having success? And I think the Padres are checking a lot of those boxes.
I think they want to. I think Major League Baseball wants to spread the game, and I think they want more international series. You look at what the NFL has done. You look at the NBA plays games in Paris, brings Wemby back over there. I think Major League Baseball with 162 games per team has even more opportunities to play games around the globe potentially. But just look at the Padres. What they've done in the last 10 years, the Monterey games, the multiple Mexico City series, the series in Korea. I don't think it's just happenstance. I don't think Major League Baseball is like, let's pick a team out of a hat. No, I think the Padres have shown a desire to expand their brand as well. There's no way you'd play 4 international series in 9 years if that wasn't the case. Like, I think about, I don't know if the Philadelphia Phillies have played out of the country. They have actually in London against the Mets.
But I get your point.
Marlins haven't.
Yeah.
Marlins haven't. Maybe they've actually played in Puerto Rico. But I like extending brands far and wide, especially when you're having success.
Yeah, and listen, there's certain brands that are kind of like no-brainers, right? The Yankees play international. You're like, yeah, it's the Yankees. Right? The Red Sox, the Cubbies, there are certain brands that it's easy to do it for. But the market has to make sense. The city has to make sense. And the fact that they've used San Diego to say, yeah, we want this brand to go international, that's important. I think that's a good sign for the city of San Diego. It's a good sign, I'm sure, and maybe the Padres are the ones volunteering, like, hey, send us wherever you want to go. But that's smart of the Padres if that's the case.
I agree with you. Switching gears, Tay Simmons back for his sophomore year on the Mesa, the Aztec forward. We'll catch up with him live on the other side. Transfer portal now closed. Kevin Acee from Mexico City joins the show at 4 p.m. This is Schaefer and Slew on San Diego Sports 760. Tay Simmons. Tay, first of all, we appreciate you taking time for us, and thanks for hopping on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So take us, what is this like now as a student athlete in this current iteration of college athletics with the transfer portal? Everyone's aware of it. Name, image, and likeness, and revenue share as well. What was the process like for you and your family as you went through this process and elected to return for your second year here at San Diego State?
Yeah, I mean, for, insane stats about, the transfer portal and all that, something above 2,000 guys are in the portal. So that was definitely crazy to see because I don't think it's ever been like that high before. So, but as we were thinking about coming back, we just ignored all that stuff. And my biggest thing was like this year for my development is so huge. And I just knew that staying at San Diego and being super comfortable with where I'm at and like the coaches and the people surrounding me, I knew that I could make that jump that I need to this next year. So it was I just had a lot of confidence, and the coaches instilled a lot of confidence in me. And like Dutch, he just really believes in what I can do. And I'm just really excited to make this jump this next year.
Tay, can you go a little bit more into the details of that? Like, what is it about Dutch? What is it about being at San Diego State University? What is it about being with that coaching staff, the fan base? What is it about that whole package that makes you feel like, yeah, I don't need to go anywhere else. This is the right place to be?
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing about Dutch is that Dutch is going to let you rock. So I remember going up to Dutch and I told him that this next year I was thinking about, trying to play a little bit more outside to expand my game. And what I really appreciate about Dutch is that he wasn't just like, oh yeah, you can have it, Tay, like here, whatever. And kind of, people might get a little bit complacent and not work if it's just given to you. But Dutch was like, hey, if you show me you can do it, then I'm going to let you rock. And so I really appreciate that style of coaching in the sense of like, he has enough faith in me that if he shows, like if I show him the results, he's going to let me do it. So he's not going to put me in a box. He's not going to make me only play in the post, but he's really going to let me expand my game. And I really don't think there's that many coaches in the country that will comfortably let players do that. And so that was just super huge to me. And then it goes across the board for all the other coaches. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think they all believed in me the same amount that Dutch does. So that was definitely something. And it's like, again, the city, it's so hard to leave San Diego. I mean, there's such a great city. Obviously, I'm from LA. I personally don't like LA that much. Like there's nothing, terrible about LA, but San Diego just blows it out the water. So that's kind of just been the thing. And also just now that I'm, finished my freshman season, I'm getting a little bit recognized around the city and whatnot. And people are starting to, show so much love and support. And again, that's also just so hard to leave. I really think that I've built a cool little fan base. I mean, like people have mistaken my brother for me and they go to my brother and they talk about it. Like the alumni across, the country. Like my mom works at my school and she's had so many people come up to her and be like, oh, is your son Tay Simmons? So it's like that just kind of love. Again, like I feel like there's a lot of fake love you can get around at different schools, but here I just feel like the love is real. And that was just a huge part. And again, like I said, like the development I can make here is I'm very comfortable here.
Our listeners are going to love hearing that. San Diegans absolutely love that insight and hearing that from you, Tay. Tay Simmons, Aztec, heading into his sophomore year forward with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. Tell us what it's like for you to also have LZ Harrington back. You guys come into college together. You're both going to be back for a second year. What's that going to be like for each of you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, that's my brother. Like I'm the closest on him out of anybody on the team. Like we do everything together. Like it's kind of funny. It's like when we're out, whether we're just getting food, like we're always together and people are always like, well, you guys are always together. So I'm really excited for this chemistry that we're going to have and kind of like us being the core just because we had so many, people leave and graduate. Like it's really just us left and obviously Latrell and Doc. Yep. But like we're the young core and we've got to kind of like perform. And like I'm really excited to do that alongside my brother because we really complement each other a lot. And he is obviously a lot better at certain aspects of the game, but he's not like holding that above my head. He like helps me. Like as of recent, I've been in the gym every day, but LG's been coming to the gym with me. And obviously because of his injury, he hasn't been able to really work out, but he sits there and watches me work out and like will tell pointers. And I respect him enough to listen because I feel like for some people our age, it's pretty hard to take criticism from someone your own age because like you guys are both going through the same thing. But I respect LZ enough to listen to what he's got to say because I know he has my best interest in mind. So I feel like it's rare to be a college player in this modern day and age and have a brother like that that's staying with you for another year. So I'm just so excited for that.
Tay, a little bit of motivation here. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on not making the tournament and then having to watch all these other schools be a part of the tournament. What was that like? What was that, as you get ready to come back, and I know we got a little bit of time, but you get ready for your sophomore season. How much motivation is that for you? How much motivation do you think that is for some of the other players? And San Diego State's built such a great program now to where you're expected to make that tournament. So just what was that experience like watching some of these other schools out there and you not being able to be a part of it with San Diego State?
Man, I'm going to tell you, it was painful. It was real painful having to watch people be in our spot that I feel like we should have been in. But then again, we can't be too upset about it because of the way we performed this last season. Just wasn't enough to cut it. But I'm really excited because that's kind of really lighting the fire. And I'm just really ready to work and get there because I'm not about to go another year, 2 years straight without making the tournament. And I know all the guys that are coming in have that same exact mentality. So I'm just ready when we get a group of guys and we're all solid and we're ready to go. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that we're not going to let that repeat. And so, yeah, I can't go another year without making the tournament, watching all these other guys, get that glory and that fun of being able to travel and playing the tournament. This is something I dreamed of ever since I was a kid. And like, when you're a kid, you never really think like it's actually going to happen. But like, the fact that I had an opportunity and I missed it, that like really hurts the soul. So as, an athlete and as a competitor, like, I'm not going to, I'm not saying it's all on me, but like, I just can't let that happen again. You know what I mean?
Great answer.
Great answer. To further that point, and Tay Simmons with us right now on San Diego Sports 760, home of the Aztecs. How do you what's it like being a freshman and going through the emotions, the highs and lows? Like, what was the experience like for you as you look back on your first year in college basketball?
I mean, I would have normally said that I was a pretty mentally strong and stable, I feel like, athlete. And then I got to college and that kind of threw everything for a whirl. But I honestly don't think I would have been able to make it through if it wasn't for my family and my parents. And like, again, like LZ and my teammates, like there were certain points where I kind of doubted myself and I felt like, well, maybe I'm not really cut out for it this year. Like, maybe that's not me. And those kind of thoughts crept in. And my dad was like, dude, if you weren't good enough, you wouldn't be here. So it's like, that was just like, well, what the heck am I even thinking? Like, of course I'm good enough to be here. I just have to own it. And I have to have that mentality that no one's going to outwork me. So when at the beginning of the season, when I was a little frustrated about, not playing as much as I really felt that I should, instead of worrying about it and complaining and moping about it, I was like, well, I can't have the mentality because that's going to slow me down. So let me just work until it's undeniable to the point where they have to play me. You know what I mean? So I felt like I just put my head down and grinded because it was the same thing I had to do my freshman year of high school. It was in a very similar situation of not playing that much. And I just put my head down, didn't worry about the outside noise, and just worked. And my dad was like, you never know like what the season is going to look like. He told me this almost every day. He said, you never know what the season is going to look like. And, God forbid we had some injuries. And I didn't start a single game in the regular season, and I started into the three games that matter the most. So like, that just shows God's providence over everything and how he's always working, always watching. And he has a plan for me no matter if I see it in the moment or not. And another thing I came to realize that was also mentally tough was just how long the season was. So my dad's statement couldn't have been more true, just of like, the season is so long, anything can happen. You just got to wait for your chance. And when I got my chance, I took it.
Tay Simmons joining us here, obviously a standout player for San Diego State University, the basketball program on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Tay, just kind of curious, right? We're right in the heart of the NBA playoffs right now. How much of the NBA do you watch? And is there a player that, you grew up wanting to model your game after, players that you watch today that you just enjoy watching and are motivated by? Thoughts on that aspect of the pro level?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to sound scripted, but Kawhi Leonard has been my favorite player ever since I was a little kid.
Amazing.
My dad's favorite player was Tim Duncan, but his second and close second was also Kawhi Leonard. So I grew up watching a lot of Kawhi Leonard highlights and all that kind of stuff. And I really just appreciated how, he doesn't really have to say anything. He just lets his game speak for himself. And obviously, like, I'm a pretty loud player on the court, like yelling and all that, but I don't really have to talk. I just kind of let my game show. And I just think that Kawhi is just such a inspiration, and his game is where I want to be able to get at, just an elite defender and just an, unstoppable force on offense as well. So I remember going through high school when I wanted to make that jump, but I didn't really know who to model my game after because I felt like some people were just a little, too extravagant for me in a sense. And I just liked how simple Kawhi Leonard was. Like, all he needs is 1 or 2 dribbles to get to a spot. So when I'm working in the and during this offseason, I'm not taking 1,000 dribbles to get to a shot. I'm modeling my game after Kawhi, trying to see like if I play the angles right, all I need is 1 or 2 dribbles. So he's definitely been an inspiration for me since I was a little kid.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You wore 15 in high school. Kawhi wore 15 here. Yeah. Your father wore 15 professionally. You wear 8 here. Yeah. Of course, Kawhi's jersey hangs in the rafters, although the number isn't officially retired. But I want to say, before you started your freshman year, you talked about the fact that kind of Kawhi's number can stand alone and you can make your own mark with your number, right?
Yeah, so it was definitely a combination of that. It was also like respect and also just not knowing. I figured, obviously, because he's a great, I just thought that you couldn't wear the number because it was in the rafters. So I was just like, okay, I can't wear it. That's cool. But also, it was like, I want to keep that respect. I'm not trying to compete and be better than Kawhi. I'm just trying to be Tay. I'm just trying to be myself. And I felt like I've worn 15 my whole life because of my dad, and he'll never stop being an inspiration for me. But I felt like college was time to kind of carve out a new path for myself and kind of separate myself from my dad. And my dad was super supportive of it. And so I'm just excited to be able to coin that number 8 and see if I can get in the Raptors one day. So we'll see.
Tay, 3 to 6. I mean, if you're not busy, you might as well just come do some radio with us.
Seriously,
relax
dude.
Over there, okay?
Yeah,
you shouldn't be this polished, this young.
This is sensational stuff. And your final one, we're kind of up against it, but your dad was a terrific player, right? He was playing a lot of French league professional basketball when you were a kid, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when people talk about my toughness, I attribute that to my father. Yeah. I mean, he was around the same height as I am, and he was a center. So he was pretty undersized for his position, but He was just huge. And he was just a get it out the mud mentality. Like, I don't care who's in front of me, I'm going to go kill. Because it's kind of like the mentality he had to grow up with when he was younger, because my father's from the Bahamas, kind of a little bit of an impoverished area where he was from. So he had a lot of struggles in life growing up. And that mentality of just, doesn't matter who's in there, no one's going to tell me no, I'm going to go take it, kind of like really carried down to me. Like, when I was at my lowest, my father was always there to tell me like, hey, like, you don't let anybody push you around. Like, you go out there and you be you and you play your hardest. So yeah, he was a very, very good player, and I was blessed to be able to watch that when I was younger, and I kind of modeled my game after him.
Tay, Aztec fans are thrilled, man, to have you back for a second season. Thank you for taking time for us. Terrific, terrific stuff for our listeners, and we'll see you on the Mesa this summer. Thanks for doing it today.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much for having me.
Great stuff.
Thank you, man.
How good is that?
Oh,
how good is that?
All right. First, let me just say this. The guy's got me already pumped up for next season. I'm not kidding.
I love 6 months out.
His answer about not being, and by the way, this is a good thing. Like, sometimes, listen, San Diego State just unfortunately didn't have enough key wins or struggled in a W or the game against Troy to make it to the tournament. So I understand why they didn't make the tournament, but don't tell me that can't be motivation for them next year. He's a great example.
Always nice to be hungry. Speaking of the Aztecs, what's Chris Johnson's confidence level like with the future of San Diego State football after getting drafted in the first round last night? You'll hear from Chris Johnson. On the other side, Kevin Acee at 4 p.m. here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Kevin Acee is going to join us in 10 minutes. We have an update on Kevin Durant. Allen's made this point. It's a great one. He played 78 regular season games. He was a gamer all year long. And he's now going to miss the second game of this 3-game series, not because of his game 1 knee issue, because of his game 2 ankle sprain that he stayed in for.
Which I don't even, I can't remember a specific play for it.
The season is actually on the line. There's no example of them coming back from 3-0. It's hard enough at 2-0. And now he will not play game 3 tonight at 5 p.m.
They don't need him. They just don't need him. No, it's what a kind of turn of events. And, listen, I think if you knew anything about coming into the postseason, it was basically like, well, how many games are the Lakers going to be out and the season's going to end, and whether they won 53 games or not. It was the disappointment of having the injuries for Luka and the injuries for AR. And here we are. What if I had told you third game is about to start in an hour and change. Lakers are up 2-0. Reeves could come back tonight. Maybe they've already ruled him out. I don't know. I just know that he was questionable. And KD is out. The Lakers could go up 3-0. They could get out of this series before the Thunder get out of their series with the Phoenix Suns.
Have a whole week off.
How about that?
To get ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear from Chris Johnson. So Chris Johnson, San Diego State outstanding cornerback, goes 27th overall.
Yep.
It's the highest selection by an Aztec since Rashad Penny went 27th overall to the Seahawks in 2018. Now, we had Chris Johnson on the show on Monday, right here on Schaefer and Sliwa. And listen to this answer. This was Chris Johnson on his confidence level with the future of San Diego State football. And it was really a testament and a great statement about the state of this program as well.
Very confident, man. I feel like they're in great hands with especially Coach Lewis, this being his 3rd year. The first year is about, bringing the culture, and the second year is about actually enforcing it. I feel like we got that done. So from here on out, I feel like it should be straightforward with, just being able to have that culture around here and new players understanding what it is when they come in here. I love the fact that Coach Sumner got the promotion at DC. I'm really excited to see what he could do with that. It's a great opportunity for him, especially he being here for a number of years. But I just feel like they're in great hands, and I'm really excited. And I'm also excited for, what I got to do this year and how that could affect us as well. Like, people understanding that, you could get drafted from this school and you don't got to leave in order to get drafted. So I'm definitely happy and excited for, draft day to come up, just for the school to be able to post that and show everybody that, you don't have to transfer out to get drafted. You can get drafted from right here as long as you play good ball.
You talk about a ring endorsement, right? You can get drafted out of San Diego State. He told us that Monday. Not just drafted, Alan, 27th pick.
Yeah, man. For me, we're not even 4 weeks in doing the show together, but I'm learning a little bit about San Diego State. I'm on the outside looking in for the most part. And now, obviously with the connection to 760, your work and how close you are to San Diego State University. We've had Dutch on, we're going to be next week. We're out there for at Riverwalk for the golf tournament. We'll get a chance, I'm assuming, with Sean Lewis.
Yeah, we'll talk to Sean Lewis.
Our opportunity to talk to him. I love the way these student athletes are properly representing San Diego State. Like, you got to feel proud. You could tell that it's not just about go get talent. I don't care what happens after that. They got good student athletes that care about the program, that want to see the program succeed even after they leave. They're leaving a very, very nice it's a good future. Let's just put it that way for San Diego State. Yesterday was a cool moment because I've told you I don't have a tie to the NFL anymore. The Chargers left. Everybody's devastated.
Like a lot of San Diegans.
But you got me kind of, where's he going to end up? Is he going to be a first rounder? Does he go to an organization that has a great history? Does he go to an organization where he might get a ton of PT, but that team now it's got a long way to go before they don't have this legacy of success?
Does he go to the Chargers we talked about?
Yesterday was cool to watch him, and then it was great to watch San Diego State University plug as much as they can, saying that guy is going to represent our university.
I mean, in today's football, two things stuck out to me. A, nobody spends 4 years anywhere anymore, whether it's Penn State or San Diego State. He spent 4 years, and he came back for his 4th year off 3-9. Who does that? Seriously, who does that? That's going to go 27th overall. He did. It speaks a lot to who he is.
And what most people do is, I'm going to go get my money for this final year. And it's not like San Diego State's coming off this tremendous year where they're building off of.
Right. So he comes back off 3-9. And then I see every pick in the first round and where they played in college football. And 31 of the 32 picks played in the P4. The only one that didn't was Chris Johnson.
Wow.
I think that's right. Of the first 27, he was the only.
If it's not right, you had me right there. The way you said
27 picks, he was the first Group of 6 player, and nobody was Group of 6 after him. Right? I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong. They weren't. I watched the entire thing. So think about
hypothetically,
that.
even if it was one or two schools, the
Yep.
point is that that's impressive.
Isn't that crazy?
That's very, very impressive.
Yeah, that was just the point. So he really is a bit of like a unicorn, and the story is unique. That's special. It's not like, well, 4 Boise guys got drafted and 6 guys from Toledo went, and no, this is becoming more and more special when you're getting drafted out of a non-P4
More
league.
challenging. Yep.
And not transferring is so rare now today in college football. Let's talk to Kevin Acee, not about Chris Johnson, but about the Padres. He will join us from Mexico City on the other side to kick off hour 2 of Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
The report is sponsored by Unbound.org. The Padres are off today, but they start their series in Mexico City tomorrow against the Diamondbacks. We've got 3 more NBA playoff games tonight, starting here in about 10 minutes. We got Boston at Philadelphia. We got Lakers Rockets at 5, and we got Spurs Trailblazers at 7:30. And of course, it's the second day of the NFL draft. The rounds 2 and 3 will begin here in about 10 minutes. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
All right, Kevin Acee. Kevin, you're in. I mean, I know this, right? I'm just going to start here. You're in Mexico City, obviously, right?
I am. I'm in my room. I'm watching one of these traffic circles they have.
Yeah.
It's freaking insanity.
Yeah, and were you down? Because I was there.
These people are so calm too, because I've been in the cars, obviously, and they're amazing drivers because it's just insane.
There's cars everywhere. Yeah. So
organized chaos.
It really. When I was there 3 years ago, I was just enamored by. I mean, culturally, it's just so different, which makes it unique when you're traveling to check it out. How would you describe for our listeners that haven't been to Mexico City? And you were there in the ballpark 3 years ago. You'll be there this weekend. What's the whole experience like, from the baseball side of things to the off the field part of it as well? How unique is this compared to what you're typically doing over the course of 162, traveling around this team?
It's quite a bit different for me, and it's different for the players, and that many of them will participate in something, with the kids, and like they did today, they have a team dinner. There's a lot of sponsors here. They came to Denver and then came here. So, I mean, it's like a big to-do. It's almost like quasi playoffs, but it's a huge hassle. And to be honest with you, they are convinced, go smoother this time. I mean, the traffic here is it's terrible. And just like New York City, there's only so much a police escort can do. It's just wild to get around this city.
Kevin, let's just go back real quick to yesterday's day game against the Colorado Rockies. Obviously, Padres in a tough spot there walking into the ninth. They're down 8-5. Maybe they're going to lose their first series. It would be the first one they'd lose. They win 5 series in a row. Come back in the game. Obviously, we know how it happens. A walk, 3 singles, and then the 3-run homer by Gavin Sheets. What has this team shown you so far? And you could tell me what you think it means, even though we are still relatively early in the season. The comebacks, the down 4-0 in Boston, the down 6-0 against the Mariners and coming back. They've just had so many great moments this early in the season. What does that signify for you?
It's remarkable. I'll get to what it might signify, but I mean, you mentioned those comebacks. Then there's also these other 5 games that were tied, 2 in the 9th, 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 7th, and that's when the Padres scored the deciding run in those innings for 5 other victories. They've only had, I think, 6 victories where it was like, oh yeah, okay, they never trailed or whatever. It's crazy, and it's really, really impressive because every team talks about it. Oh yeah, we believed it in the dugout. We always know, and this guy can do it, and that guy can do it, and every team says it, and it's not very true for a lot of teams. I got to stop looking at the traffic. It's crazy. There's just no way I could do it. It's like when I go to the Dominican Republic, I go, no, I'm not getting a car, even though they tell me I could. Anyway,
just live stream it.
Team,
throw it on there.
It's what I was just watching. I can't even describe. But this team has some problems. How about you score in the first inning? They scored 3 runs in the first inning. They outscored their opponents 24-1 in the 9th inning, and 21 of those runs have been crucial runs, right? The 5 they had to score against the Mariners that night, the 5 they scored yesterday. It's wild and super, super impressive what they've done. But the fact is, it does seem like it can't continue if certain guys, and we all know who I'm talking about,
don't start hitting better, hitting more consistently. I do want to say, if you do break it down, the big guys have had some big hits, and that's part of what they get paid for. But Jackson Merrill, not Xander Bogaerts. He's actually playing like Boston Xander Bogaerts. But Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis, who, by the way, Fernando Tatis the last 2 days, they're the first 2 days where you go, oh, well, that's struggling Fernando. And so I don't know what's happening there. Maybe he'll pull out of it real quick. But generally that lasts for about a week. So that'd be a real waste here in the altitude. But they're super impressive, but also a little bit scary.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider with us right now from Mexico City. Padres Diamondbacks will start a 2-game set tomorrow in Mexico. You reported recently, Kevin, on the future of the ownership structure of the Padres. We know about, obviously, Feliciano and his wife, right? Kwanzaa Jones. What else do you know about how this is going to play out? Alfred Harpelou, right, has been a part of the ownership. Yep. He's expected to remain a part of the ownership. I think he owns the Mexico City Red Devils, where this game is going to be played this weekend. But what do we know about this ownership group?
Well, Alfredo Harpelou will probably be the second largest single shareholder, which he has been. He was behind the trust, which was Sheil Seidler and her children. And so he'll still be a pretty significant owner. The fact that Feliciano probably owns around 40%, I mean, that's a big stake. It is. He owns a greater stake, like the value of it, than the group that owns the entirety of the Tampa Bay Rays. So like, it's a big stake, but there's still a lot of voices. And then when you go to make improvements, payroll, that sort of thing, it's either Feliciano does it on his own and then his stake, like, it's affected. You don't just put money in and you don't get like a little bit more in the company, or he has to do a cash call like Peter did, or you take on more debt like Peter did. So it's it's basically kind of status quo, except Jose Feliciano has more money than Peter Seidler ever did, certainly has more money than the current ownership group has. So there still is a lot of hope that, they'll invest a little more in payroll, give a little more freedom to AJ Preller. And I don't know that it changes much in terms of where I see it, because it was always, I don't care if he owned 100%. It was always, show me what you're going to do with the team. So that's where we're at.
Kevin Acee joining us here. He's in Mexico City for the Padres and the Diamondbacks game. Kevin, we were having this conversation a little bit earlier, and I know so much of the time the attention goes to, you look at the elite in Major League Baseball, typically starting off with the Dodgers. But as you look at games like this weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks, we were just looking at the standings. The top 9 teams in the NL are separated by 4 games. And I know this is, will it stay like this? Probably not. But as you look at just kind of the bigger scope and you look at teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks, how important are the other teams going up against? Yeah, it's easy for everybody to get up for a Padre Dodger game, but when you start really looking into this, your season is going to be made not on the 13 games that you played against the Dodgers, but all these other squads. Just the games against the Diamondbacks and the Cubs and some of these other matchups that you have coming up. Just how integral do those games become? And I know they might not be the sexiest, but they still count the same in the standings.
Well, and when you're talking about, okay, so let's say Diamondbacks Cubs, you're talking about maybe playoff positioning, right? What if you'd won a couple more games against the Cubs last year? So obviously every win is going to help you in your playoff positioning, but when it comes to tiebreakers, which look, it often comes down to, or it might come down to that. Every year we're looking at that at the end. So those games are really big. And then one of my markers for whether you're a good team, because it's one of the few, kind of random stats that actually is 99.999% accurate. Winning teams, playoff teams beat bad teams. They crush bad teams. They build their record on beating bad teams. So the fact that the Padres are 5-1 against the Rockies speaks well of the Padres. Take a look at the 2023 Padres and what happened to them against bad teams. So underachieving teams don't crush bad teams. And so the last couple years, and it looks like this year, the Padres are taking care of business. Those are huge games to me. When you get later in the season and you have a bigger body of evidence, and also you're now going to be facing the Dodgers, who've decided, oh yeah, now we can play, now we can pitch Blake Snell, now we can pitch Tyler Glass now. You can start to measure yourself against those teams. But like right now, it's just like collecting wins. And yes, it can come back to haunt you if you say drop 3 games against the Cubs next week.
Yeah, good insight from Kevin Acee from Mexico. Here's something we tossed around earlier. Kevin, I want to get your thoughts on it. It's kind of subjective and anecdotal and hard to pinpoint, but I want your thoughts. The Padres, as you know, have played internationally a ton over the last decade. I remember Monterrey, twice in Mexico City, South Korea. This is more specific to their influence in Mexico. How do you see their brand in Mexico, and how do they see their brand in Mexico? Is this something they see as like an untapped area, or an area that needs to be tapped into more?
Yeah, it's an area that can always be tapped into more, but and they have done a remarkable job, because it was before my time, of really paying attention to it. It was kind of sad how disconnected they were from, especially Tijuana. But they, yes, Mexico, the Dodgers had such an incredible head start. The Dodgers are the brand. The Dodgers and the Yankees are the brand around the world. And it goes beyond like baseball. It's like fashion as well. Walk around and you see it. But, and I would say this is all over the United States now, it's actually pretty remarkable for me as someone who travels around. But you do go, and I was just in the Dominican Republic a couple of weeks ago. When we talked a couple of times, I was there. Yeah. And the Padres, you could, based on who you talk to and what you see, you could argue the Padres are the team of the DR, like because of Fernando, basically. Is kind of anecdotally what I'd say. It'll be something I'll be working on. It's their brand is growing like a lot, and they've done a good job with their past City Connects, and then these ones, which they're going to wear on Sunday. They've done a good job with that in terms of cross cultural, and I think that's a credit to them, credit to Nike. And so, yeah, this is big. This is big for the Padres. There's a reason that they are the team that's now doing this twice.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I'm glad you're able to go there with us. I'm just curious about, it just feels like Major League Baseball in general is trying to spread the game as well, more internationally. And it feels like the Padres have been a little bit at the forefront of that. The last decade.
And John, to just play off of that, and Kevin, you tell us 10 years ago, maybe they're not getting this game. I'm just saying in general, maybe 15 years ago, they might not be. I do think the perception of their brand is different today than clearly it was 15 years ago. And I think that's clearly moving in the right direction.
How about 2018 when they went to Monterrey?
Yep.
They made money because like they were giving away home games, right? Like and MLB reimburses them. And of course that was going to be the Dodgers, those home games. Yep. But like now it's, look, the Padres, for the same reason, besides winning, that they're selling out and that they're attractive in San Diego. And this was a part of Peter's genius. Star players. It's not just winning, star players. And especially as you go into play in the Latin American countries, it's star players. And so to compete with the Dodger Yankee brand, you've got, let's just say Fernando Tatis Jr. Yes, Manny Machado. Okay. But Fernando Tatis Jr.
Great stuff. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It does. Kevin, enjoy the weekend in Mexico City, and we'll catch up with you when you get back to San Diego next week.
Right on. Take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, a lot to react to there.
Yeah, we didn't ask him about peanuts, and
no, we didn't.
Gosh,
we will on Monday when he's back.
I don't know if he does
in the States.
I do it in the hotel room. It doesn't even matter.
We'll get to the Rapid 4:30. We'll also get to our new feature on the other side. I have something that I need to share with Alan Sliwa he has no idea about, and it's tied to the LA Rams of all teams. That's next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Alan, you see that piece of paper? Read it.
Let's buy a little time. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all our winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. There's still time to donate to a classroom project, and your donation will be matched by Donors Choose. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
That was well. Look at you. You're just.
What show was that? What show did they do that?
Or Scylla does that. He like.
Oh, is that what it was?
He like, what's it called when you like take a piece of paper and you like make it like pop? He like, hold on.
I know what you're talking about. No, I know what you're talking about. Relax, man. Everything's okay.
I need to make this work.
Yeah, that's good.
He does it after he reads the copyright.
Was it Conan? Who did it? What late night show when they were done with whatever they would do, they'd always or they'd rip the...
David Letterman.
Oh, Letterman would do it. Okay, yeah.
I like that sound.
Because he would do the pen thing.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
By the way, can we mention this real quick? We'll get to what's new. Let's just mention it.
Go there right now.
So the other day, we had this really interesting, there's two types of people in the world. Alan's saying people that drink tap water and people that drink filtered water. And
you threw me off, man. You threw me off.
I'm a tap water guy, which is so unlike me. You know, I was telling you earlier today what I do like before shows. I'm
threw me off,
chiropractors. Man. I'm getting like IVs for like just to feel good. But I'm a tap water drinker. So we threw this out there like, hey, if you're a water brand out there in San Diego County, we'd love to hear from you because I could use, honestly, I would love to transition away from tap. Well, one of those brands reached out after we threw out the email, hey there at iHeartRadio.com.
Here's the thing I care about most. You and I have a lot of experience in radio.
We do.
Your experience has been literally all over the country. Mine predominantly has been in San Diego and Los Angeles, and that's it.
Yeah.
One of the things that you and I understand very well is the business side.
Sure.
We want to partner and help local businesses on a day-to-day. Listen, 100%. You guys can tell all our topics are locally based. Maybe there's some national stories. We tie it back to local. If you are a local business you listen to us, maybe they listen to your previous show, but they love 760.
Yep.
Give out that email again.
It's a great point. Hey there. HUYTHERE, hey there, at iHeartRadio.com. If you're a local business, thank you for saying that. Seriously, Alan, you want to partner with the station or the show? Just reach out.
Have a conversation, a dialogue, and we'll see if there's ways that we can work together.
Hey there at iHeartRadio.com. Send an email.
I'm so happy that contact reached out.
Super cool.
By the way, I'm happy because I hope he just helps you with just getting some filtered water.
Yeah, I could use it. I could use better water.
Could use it in here if I'm being honest.
And we could use a peanut brand. Hey there at iHeartRadio.com based on Alan's eating history.
Who sent us a tweet? Somebody sent us a tweet about.
They did from Five Guys.
What were they?
Hey, Five Guys. We're two guys.
We said that earlier. Wait, I had to find this here. Look at this guy. Yeah. Blake Harper is out there. He said, all this peanut talk made me hungry.
So he went to Five Guys.
And the guy is just enjoying a nice, couple of peanuts. He's throwing the shells on the floor. Then he's going to enjoy a burger and some fries. John, you can't tell me. You sounded like you needed to be in like a special room to have peanuts. You don't need to be in a special room.
You have to be at Five Guys. That's a special room. You have to be outside. Anyway, hey there at iHeartRadio.com. We have a new feature on the show. We'll get to the wrap, though, in about 6 or 7 minutes. Let's get to this.
Well,
my back doesn't hurt as much.
That's news to me.
I did cash under the table. Everything was under the table.
Didn't see that coming. Let's find out what's new with Schaefer and Sliwa.
So we were talking before the show about the Rams' decision with the 13th overall pick to select Ty Simpson, the quarterback out of Alabama. You're saying, well, how does this tie back?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Sean
McVay basically showed his hand. He didn't seem thrilled if you looked at his mannerisms or the words he said with the media in the aftermath of this pick. A lot believe the Rams are a player away from, let's say, winning the Super Bowl. It's not going to be Ty Simpson.
They don't want to think 2-3 years down the road.
Right. So this is where I wanted to go with this. And some of our listeners may know this, but you will not. Sean McVay remains so young that, for example, my wife, Kristen, is 43. I'm 45. So you're thinking, okay, where are you going with this? So I think McVay is probably 39 or 40, right? Maybe 3 or 4 years younger than my wife. Why am I mentioning my wife? My wife grew up in Pittsburgh, where the draft is. She spent a good amount of her childhood in Pittsburgh. Sean's father was the longtime defensive coordinator of the Steelers.
Okay, where are we going with this?
My wife, Kristen, would babysit Sean McVay as a kid. That's how young. Now we're getting older now,
What?
but I've been saying this for 7, 8, 9 years out here. My wife, Kristen, and she probably doesn't want me saying this because it exposes her age, used to babysit the McVeys.
No, what exposes her age is when you actually gave her age.
Oh, I did. I said she was 43.
The story doesn't expose the age.
Is that not insane, though?
That's wild.
So she, on multiple occasions, in fact, to the point where her parents, who live in Carmel Valley, still communicate with his parents, like holiday cards.
That's awesome.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
a very cool story.
So,
all right, I learned something new today.
You learned something new.
That basically you're tied. You have something to do with the Super Bowl that the Rams won a couple years ago. That's kind of what you're trying to say.
Rings, obviously. I mean, Kristen babysitted him in 1990.
We sent them back. I mean, we didn't want the rings, but they sent it to us.
That's
out of a courtesy.
So that's a
cool story.
That's kind of a shocker.
That's a cool
and I
story.
wasn't thinking about it until we started talking about McVay and Ty Simpson. By the way, very rarely have I seen Sean McVay like that. He very much looks the part often. He says the right things.
Yeah.
He seemed a bit perturbed by the decision to draft this quarterback 13th overall yesterday. I don't know if he was or not.
I know we got to go to break, but I want to talk a little bit about that because that could be one of those dynamics where your head coach is the responsibility of doing one thing.
Yep.
Your general manager, your president, whatever, has a responsibility of doing something else. And that happens all the time in sports. But the reason why that was so odd yesterday, the Rams seem to be an organization where everybody's pulling that rope in the same direction.
Yeah, they've been a successful organization, no doubt. All right, on the other side, we'll get to the wrap. More on that Rams pick in the first round yesterday, second round underway of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. At this hour, we are here until 6 p.m. on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Capital One. The Padres are off today, but they start their series in Mexico City tomorrow against the Diamondbacks. We got 3 games tonight in the NBA playoffs right now with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're all tied at 18 between the 76ers and the Celtics. Coming up at 5, we got Lakers, Houston, and at 7:30, we got Trailblazers and Spurs. The day 2 of the NFL draft is underway. Rounds 2 and 3 are today. Right now, they're up to about pick 38. Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase with the Capital One Venture X business card. Big purchasing power means you can spend more and earn more. The Capital One Venture X business card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
All right, San Diego Sports 760, Schaefer and Sliwa with you until 6 p.m. here on this Friday afternoon. Got some draft coverage on. The Lakers are going to play in about 30 minutes tonight, game 3.
No KD. No
KD.
Austin Reeves, by the way. I know he's questionable. He's not going either.
Which to me makes sense because you're up 2-0.
And the drivers.
Yeah, you're down 2-0. Okay, different conversation here, but you're not.
They don't need to force anything. Yeah. And listen, just if Austin Reeves doesn't play tonight, and let's say he's ready to go on Sunday, at worst case scenario, you're up 2-1. So you're already in a good position. And, like you said, there's just no need to force. I think it's been exactly 3 weeks since his injury against the Thunder. So just trajectory-wise. But I thought initially they said 4 to 6 weeks. But
if they win tonight, they being the Lakers, then I ain't playing him game 4. And now all of a sudden, you win in 4 or 5 games, and maybe it's different if it gets to a 5th game. Now he's got that extra week plus.
Can I ask you a question? Because I think this is always the thing that you try to kind of figure out and balance in all sports, right?
Yep.
Well, what if he's healthy?
Fresh. Yeah, I know.
Then what do you do? Because I get what you're saying, but if Austin Reeves is sitting there saying, guys,
why am I not playing?
2 more days will do nothing. Get me in on Sunday so at least I can get my conditioning back. Let me get my timing back.
Yeah. No, I want him in bubble wrap. Because anything can happen when you're out there. I don't want to see him ever play again
with a healthy player.
I don't ever want to see him.
You know what this is the equivalent to? Eating peanuts indoor.
Oh, yes, exactly. I don't want to do it.
So you want to play it safe.
Yes.
Everything is safe.
Yes.
I'm ready to go skydiving after the show.
Indoor food.
Yeah, I'm not telling you it's a great indoor food. I'm just telling you when it needs to be consumed, it needs to be consumed. But you are right.
It's not ideal.
There's just it's chaos. I look at myself sometimes like, what is this?
Peanut shells.
I've had peanuts in the car.
Oh,
yeah, it's not a good idea.
Madman.
Yeah,
madman.
What would you eat in your house first? Peanuts or sunflower seeds?
Oh, easy.
Sunflower seeds every day of the week. I pound them, but I have them in like the little. You're right. They get everywhere.
Oh man,
but they're easy to vacuum.
Can't get video. You just won't put us on YouTube.
Here's the most dangerous. I got to get this back. Here's the most dangerous food for me to eat indoors. Okay, that makes you look like you were part of a double homicide. Pomegranates. Random. I get it. Look at Alan's looking around like, what are you talking? There's actually a secret to open them. You got to do it in water.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, no. I don't know how to open them. I thought you meant I thought you meant just straight up buying them from like a grocery. I don't know how to open them.
A pomegranate, it looks like you're a serial killer.
Those are straight stains that will never come off.
Never.
Growing up,
so good.
Oh, they're amazing.
Oh. I can contest to that. I think somebody here in the building has like a pomegranate. I want to say Mary.
A tree?
Yes.
Wow.
Because there was pomegranates in the break room one day, and I've never had like a not prepared pomegranate.
I'm with you. Yeah, those are not.
I went to cut it.
Oh, you got all.
And just like you said, it was like I stabbed a heart or something because it just sprayed all over my shirt and it stained. It never came out. So now I won't.
It's tasty. It's worth it. It's worth ruining everything for them.
I only break those up under white carpet. I just want to be right over white carpet.
That's risky, dude. Yeah. All right, let's get to it.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Did the Rams make a mistake by drafting quarterback Tay Simmons with the 13th overall pick?
Here's why I'm going to say no. And this was a conversation we started. We listen, maybe we're making something out of it, but it doesn't feel like we are. Sean McVay's kind of response didn't sound like the most excited person out there that they took a quarterback.
Pretty funny, yeah.
but I'm going to give the LA Rams this. There's certain franchises that when they do something, you give them the benefit of the doubt. Rams are one of those franchises. Now, what I will say is the Sean McVay era, a lot of it has to do with Sean McVay. So if Sean McVay's not happy about this, then I would tell you that maybe this isn't the greatest situation for the Los Angeles Rams, but I'm just going to fall back on the yes, it's going to be okay because it's that organization that did it. It's not the Raiders or the Browns or somebody else.
Les Snead this morning on LA radio said him and McVay are in a quote unquote lockstep. So, and by the way, they've worked together for a very long time. Even
since
with
McVay got there,
yeah. So I'm with you. This is one of those organizations where because you're not the Jets, I trust you. Yeah. This is the Jets. I have no faith in what you just did. Sure. But they're not the Jets. Very successful organization, which, to some extent, you kind of hate to say it. They're also one of these teams that just moved in the heat of the night and left St. Louis. But whatever. Of
course. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
The LA Rams, specifically in Los Angeles, have been very well run and very successful. So I do think they get the benefit of the doubt because of that. Next question.
Padres are playing in Mexico City this weekend. What other international city would you like to see the team play in?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm going to go, sometimes you see the energy, some of these fan bases during the World Baseball Classic. So that's kind of where it takes me. I'm going to say the DR.
The Dominican. I love that.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Dominican Republic would be.
So Santo Domingo, man.
A phenomenal location to find, obviously, a stadium to play, and I think the energy would be great. So yeah, that's where I'll go.
San Pedro de Macorís, known as the cradle of shortstops, has
Let's
produced
go with it.
more major league players per capita than like anywhere.
Wow,
making it one of the highest per capita producers of professional baseball talent globally. Roughly 75 to 100 players are out of San Pedro de Macorís, which is insane. I don't even know how big of a city it is, but one city has produced 100 plus major league players. So the cradle of shortstops. I love that. Here's where I'm going to go with the Padres.
Okay.
And it's not that far, if not for the border, would be Tijuana. I just think it's a brilliant opportunity being so close. You have that support, obviously, being right on the border, the sister border city to San Diego. They've got a Mexican League team.
That would be so cool.
I would love to see, even if it's for a game, doesn't have to be a series. You could play 3 games against Arizona where games 1 and 2 are in San Diego.
Oh,
games
that's
3 in
phenomenal.
TJ. I think playing a game at TJ makes sense for the Padres in Major League Baseball. I would like to see that.
Yeah, your idea is better than mine.
No, I love your idea, seriously, because baseball is king in the Dominican. It's big in these other places. It is. It's big in America, but it's not king. It's like the NFL in the Dominican. Next question.
How important is tomorrow's SDFC game against Portland?
I'm done. I don't have any more important. How important are they? Here's what let me go through the last 3 games when we've done this, okay? The first one, we both said it's incredibly important because they've lost a couple games in a row.
Right.
The last one we did this in, we said, I tried reverse psychology, was even sitting here sweating in my SDFC merch, and we said it's not important because it's early in the season. I mean, listen, clearly it's important. They just need some kind of momentum. I mean, any kind of momentum at this point. So I'll go with it. By the way, their second game of the week. So this is, they're just falling so far into the standings. And I know there's X amount of months left. I know there's a lot of time.
Of course.
It's just that you're riding off such a high from what last season was. What you don't want to do is by the time we get to June or July, they're just not even in the mix. So I think for many reasons, it's key.
Listen to this. Winless in 6 straight MLS matches. 4 straight losses, and 2 ties before that. They desperately need a win, right? I don't care the time of year. They desperately, that's just a tie. They desperately need a win. You can hear that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. It's just, I mean, you have 6 straight winless matches. At some point, like, it's just too much. You can't turn it into 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just too much. Next question.
We had a drive-by that said you should do Puerto Rico because you don't need passports.
Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah.
Puerto Rico. I do like
That's good. I like that.
Yep.
Can the Rockets win tonight without Kevin Durant?
Can the Rockets win tonight without Kevin Durant? They can. They will be playing at home. First game without KD, it's not like Lakers won by 15 or 20 or something along those lines. They need one good game, but here's the problem with the Rockets. Honestly, I don't think they're well coached at all. I think Ime Udoka has been completely exposed. I think the Lakers have this unbelievable chemistry a couple of games into the postseason. JJ Redick looks like a genius. Can they win? Sure. Without KD, I expect the Lakers to go up 3-0.
I agree with you. I mean, I could see this being a very close game. It should be. It's in Houston, backs against the wall, but I think Lakers.
I said that for game 2. I'm like, they got to win. KD's coming back. He didn't mean anything. Point.
No, I trust LeBron in this spot, and he's been so good to the point of invincible in 2-0 series leads in his career. So I trust him in this spot. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rockets just get one. So maybe that is today. Maybe that's obviously game 4.
Man,
but
what a trip. If you said that a week ago.
I know. The Rockets were minus 800. Minus 800 to win the series like 5 days ago.
And how much you put a few grand on it? I mean,
no, I didn't, but it's fickle.
No, we are sitting right here. You said, I'm calling my bookie. And all of a sudden there was just
no, but 5 o'clock is the tip time.
Yeah, they go 5 tonight.
Now, how are we watching that, Brian? Are we watching Lakers Rockets? Are we keeping the draft up? Do we have multiple television? Why do we have serious question?
It's America will vote on.
No, we have 5 televisions.
Well, would Mike come in here and tell us?
5, Alan. 5 televisions.
That'd be awesome. I mean, I just want to hear it. Because look, we also have 6. One. We have this unbelievable
massive TV. 7. We have so many TVs. We can only watch one thing. For whatever reason,
there's got to be okay. You know what? That's the other one that we're going to get. We need local businesses to come in. Let's partner with a couple a couple tech people that can get these things working in here.
Hey there at iHeartRadio.com if you want to partner with us on Schaefer and Sliwa or here on 760. Let's continue our NBA postseason conversation last night in the NBA. Looking ahead to tonight as well. We'll get back to the Padres, a rare Friday off day as they get ready for the D-backs in Mexico City tomorrow and Sunday. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we're going to get back to the Padres in the 5 o'clock hour. Padres and Diamondbacks. Alan's cleaning up the studio right now. No, you don't have a read right now, do you? Turn that mic on. You got one coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Can I make a point about the NBA postseason? We'll get back to the Padres at 5 p.m. So I'm watching last night. I know this was touched on when Darren Smith was in studio. Lifelong diehard Knicks fan, right? That's a tough fate. That's a tough hand to be dealt.
I don't know what it is.
They got a problem, man.
I like watching them lose.
Well, then you enjoy watching just the
is.
Knicks in general.
Yes.
Because oftentimes they're on the wrong side, are they not?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not exactly winning every playoff series they've ever been in. They're not always in the playoffs.
Well, they did win recently. It was in the 70s with Phil Jackson as a player.
Oh, that's right.
How do you forget that? Why do people remember Phil Jackson as a coach? You don't remember him as a Knick in the 70s?
In like 72. Last night, that was a back and forth game. I'm watching this with my wife. It's like diehard NBA.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, it looks like the Knicks are going to win this game. They're down 3 a couple of times. They hit some clutch shots. They go up.
Came
3.
back in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they're up 3. And then just the wheels fall off. They have a couple of chances to basically close this out or win it, including they got it 15 seconds down 1. They don't even get a shot off.
CJ McCollum coming through with a big shot. Yep.
So, like, I don't know. The Knicks, if I'm a Knicks fan like Darren, there can't be anything more frustrating than that.
Yeah, I'm not going to, I don't know how much I'm going to sympathize with Knicks fans. I'll tell you why.
Do it.
Their owner everything starts at the top.
James Dolan?
And it's been a Dolan issue for
Forever.
years, right? So maybe you do sympathize because that's not something that they can control. They got a great fan base, but honestly, I go back to something I said a couple weeks, or I think it was earlier in the week.
Okay.
Do you know what turned me off about the Knicks?
I don't.
A couple of years ago, they all of a sudden started becoming a good team, and it looked like they can make some noise in the playoffs.
I remember.
And even last year, to be honest, they're playing the Celtics. You know, they were heavy underdogs. I was rooting for the Knicks in that series. I didn't care after that. What turned me off about the Knicks, brother, they won one round, and the streets in New York was going crazy. And there's just videos everywhere of like these fans hallucinating over one round, and I'm like, I can't support this.
Yeah, but it's because
you're the
they're
Knicks.
starved. It's like when you're like, do we not appreciate it because you're the Knicks, so you can't act that way? Like, act like you've been there before, but they haven't.
But it looked so pathetic.
But if you haven't won since the 70s,
no, you're not
30,
wrong.
40, 50-years
You're not wrong, but I think there's this like, you're a big market, you're a big brand, you're a big boy. Okay?
Yeah.
Can you act a little bit like, and the fans were just so, right? You have to go watch some of these videos that were out there on YouTube, on Twitter and Instagram when they win in the playoffs, the streets. I'm like, guys, you can't do this.
Who was the team?
There was, and I know this doesn't represent the entire fan base. By no means does it, but like there were stupid things that happened with some Pacer fans that were wearing Tyrese Halliburton stuff last year as well, which I hated. So anyways, long story short, they're a franchise that should be winning on paper. They have a really, really good team, and they just choke every year.
Who was the team we've talked about before? Was it Minnesota that won that play-in game in like
Patrick Beverley
2022? And you would have thought this was Game 7 NBA Finals type stuff, was it not? So, like, on one hand, you're like, dude, it's the play-in tournament. On the other hand, it's like, okay, at least they really want to win.
I can relate a little. You know how I can relate?
How so?
I acted like an idiot when the Padres tied the Phillies 1 apiece. I remember actually seeing
we were outside.
I remember seeing you right after that.
San Diego.
But I acted like an idiot, and there was a little bit like I've never been there before. But I also, I guess if I have any defense towards me in this, and any defense towards Padre fans, the city has never won a championship. Okay.
Yeah.
That we were walking away thinking, well, this is going to come back, whether you take 2 or 3 from Philly or 1 of 3 from Philly. You're coming back for a Game 6 here. You're a round away from making it to the World Series. So maybe I should have some more sympathy.
Yeah, I mean, I
wasn't the best at that moment.
It's an interesting topic because, like, is there really an etiquette, like, with fandom? Like, okay, so if you're a fan of the New York Yankees, do you have to almost like golf clap your way through the postseason until you're in the World Series? Or if you're a fan of the Lakers, do you kind of have to, put restrictor plates on your fandom until it's the NBA Finals or maybe the Western Conference Finals? Because you have been there before?
I don't know if you have to restrict anything, but I think it just like, I think there's certain brands out there you're expecting. I expect Minnesota at that time to have Patrick Beverley on the scores table, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect someone from the Boston Celtics or the Lakers or maybe the Spurs or some of these franchises that have had a lot of success. Maybe it just like it's a different. Yeah, you kind of do have a different feel for it.
I would have loved to see Steph Curry in that 9-10 game this year between the Clippers and the Warriors. If it was the 9-10 game, I think it was.
It was. You're right. It was 9-10.
I want to see him on the scorers table, up there, pumping his fists, just going into the stands, hugging. It would be amazing to see.
Do you remember that presser? There was a presser. It was a post game show. Mike Trudell, who does sideline reporting for the Lakers,
right? He's
done it for years now. When the Lakers had Kobe, and it was towards the end of Kobe's career, there was like a post game presser, and it was. I'm trying to think who it was off the top of my head. I know Nick Young was there, and these guys were basically acting like clowns. And the Lakers were so many games below 500. And I think the next day, Kobe goes on Jimmy Kimmel. And Kimmel plays it, and Kobe just has no reaction to it. Like he's watching it as if this is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. Look at where the Lakers franchise is. We're nowhere near competing. There's certain players.
I respect that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like there's a little bit that like that mantra comes with it.
Yeah, no, I do respect that. I do. Tonight, again, Rockets-Lakers game 3 coming up in just a handful of minutes. No KD, no Austin Reeves. Lakers up 2-0 stranglehold the series, obviously, by winning tonight. Simple as that. Rockets. It feels to me like I don't even care what happens tonight. It feels to me like it's an inevitability. Correct me if I'm wrong. You cover this, and you communicate more with Laker fans than I do. It feels almost inevitable they move on. Is that too strong to say right now?
I think at this point, now it's like you're surprised if the Lakers aren't in the second round.
Yeah.
Where a week ago, you'd be surprised that the Lakers are in the second round. So it's flipped. It's completely flipped, especially with no KD tonight. Any game that KD doesn't play, the Lakers would have an advantage on. What's fascinating to watch, I think, in this series, whether you're a huge NBA fan, you're watching all these games, you don't have to be a Laker fan to have this conversation. I like sometimes watching the chess game between coaches and, what is this coach doing? What is that coach doing? You love all of sports. There's times and there's moments where you're like, yeah, that head coach is just outsmarting that head coach. Randomly enough, the biggest story, I think one of the biggest stories in this series is the incompetence of Ime Udoka and what seems like JJ Redick running circles around him. You've seen this. I could look at a lot of different playoff matches in the NBA, and it's like some teams might have a clear advantage because of their talent and their players. The Lakers do not have a clear advantage of talent and players, but I do feel like they're out. I feel like JJ Redick is completely out coaching Ime Udoka. So going into this game tonight, Lakers all of a sudden are sitting in the driver's seat, and I don't know what happens to the Rockets. I hate to see KD's out because I would like to see KD in, but he's not going to go tonight for the Rockets.
All right, Rockets and Lakers game 3 coming up in just a handful of minutes. We'll get back to the Padres, the importance of this weekend set in Mexico City against the Diamondbacks to kick off the 5 o'clock hour. That'll be next here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We are live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. The Padres are off today. They start their series in Mexico City against the Diamondbacks tomorrow. We got 3 games tonight in the NBA playoffs right now with about just a little under 6 minutes to go in the first half. The Celtics are up on the 76ers 43-38. Lakers Houston are about to tip off here in about 10 or 15 minutes. And at 7:30, we got Spurs Blazers. And it is day 2 of the NFL draft. Rounds 2 and 3 are today. Right now, they're up to pick 45. If you have any questions about youth or high school sports, Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA builds better athletes, better people through sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
It's Schaefer and Sliwa. John Schaefer.
Padres, they'll be in Mexico City taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I bet a lot of Padres fans will be there. When they were there 3 years ago and I was there were probably 10,000 Padres fans.
San Diego's own Alan Sliwa.
The 2-game set they have against Arizona, it's a good matchup. This is obviously a divisional foe. The team that you felt like you're going to be competing with in the division is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Here's Schaefer and Sliwa.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour. Ever. No, hopefully not ever.
The way you end the show is always...
It's like Final Destinations.
No, you really... The way you end it, it's like I'm waiting for you to give a speech or something.
I know. Like, it's been a good ride, man. 19 shows. What was your favorite memory of these 19?
I thought show 7, segment 4.
Yeah, it was good. I don't think it was as good as show 10, segment 10.
I disagree. This is why our show is ending.
It's ending after 19 shows. No, we will be back on Monday with much more, obviously, for San Diego sports fans, including a wrap on the Padres weekend series in Mexico.
Yeah.
That gets underway tomorrow.
What are you expecting? Like, I think we're on
9 innings.
Honestly, like, we're on such a high around the Padres right now. Freaking, they close out. I mean, how about their trip from Colorado yesterday to Mexico City?
That must have been quite a trip.
Gavin Sheets, 5 runs in the in the 9th. Gavin Sheets with a 3-run bomb. They win 10-8. They've won 6 series in a row. And I love the fact that they're going up against the Diamondbacks. We talked a little bit about just the competition. Forget the Dodgers for a second. You got a lot of other teams in the NL that you're going to have to worry about for playoff positioning. But
here's my expectation.
What are your expectations?
I go back to what I've said a lot on this road trip. It's less about wins and losses for me. Like, if they go 1-1 here, I have absolutely no issue with it. Playing Arizona, no issue at all. You split these 2 games.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
you'd
you'd love to take 2, but 1-1, there's no issues.
Other than that, it's fine.
What, 18-9 coming home? Is that right? They're 17-8.
They're 17-8 right now.
So you'd be 18-9.
1-1. So we'll add 1 to the win column.
But here's what I want to see. I'm beating a dead horse, unfortunately. And we'll hear from Kevin Acee at 5:30 because there's some insight here in there as well. I got to see the stars of this team do more. I'm talking about offensively, whether it's Fernando Tatis Jr. or Manny Machado or Jackson Merrill. Give me a weekend where I'm talking more about their prowess at the plate. That's what I want to see. I don't know if I'm expecting it. It's what I want. I don't have to have 2 wins. The world's going to keep spinning if they win a game 8-6 and lose a game 8-6. I would love to be talking about Toddy homered, Manny hit 1, Merrill hit 2, and they went 1-1. Awesome. Great jumping off point for us Monday afternoon before the Cubs series. That's what I want.
What do you think would be, if you can pick between these 2 scenarios?
Okay.
The record is 17-8.
Yeah.
Tatis is killing it. Machado is killing it. Jackson Merrill's killing it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is struggling. Or you could be 17-8. Xander's doing a phenomenal job. Sheets has had some clutch moments. Laureano's been phenomenal.
Yeah, I like it.
You got other kind of outs for me and a little Camposano. Like, you got other players
pitching,
stepping up.
Vasquez, Miller. Yeah.
Forget the pitching staff. I'm just saying, just offensively.
Okay.
If I said pick between those 2 to how you got to 17-8, I know this is just, it's being, I don't know. I'm being probably a little bit too specific here.
No, I like it.
Pick between the 2. Which one would you want?
I want the star power one, but I don't know if it's the smartest one that I want.
So why do you want the star power one?
Because sex sells. Because it's more interesting. Because that's what fans wear, jerseys that don't say on the back Campusano. By and large, they wear jerseys that say Tatis because Tatis is the most popular player in the Dominican. Because to Kevin's point that you'll hear at 5:30 if you missed it earlier, Peter Seidler recognized the importance of marketing power, stardom. So it's just how I'm wired. I think the Lakers are more interesting with Luka and LeBron than just one of them.
So I guess I don't think my question came off the right way.
No, I think it did.
Because the point that I'm trying to make, I'm trying to say from a baseball perspective, I'm not talking about 162 games. I'm saying that the Padres are sitting 17-8. They're playing good baseball right now, and Tatis and Machado and Jackson Merrill haven't had the impact.
Yeah,
right?
No, I prefer that.
Which one would you prefer?
That, because I feel like there's even more upside when they hit.
So you would prefer that the other players that's my point. My point is that yes, I know I understand the importance of having Machado, Tatis, and Jackson Merrill, three dudes that if you go to Petco, their face is going to be everywhere.
Right.
I understand the importance of having them be your stars. My point is that you're 9 games over 500. You got one of the best records in the NL and all of baseball. And those three really haven't had that impact. Like, I like the idea that Xander's got off to a great start. I like the idea that you're getting production from your catchers. I like the idea that Ramon Laureano, since he got here at the trade deadline, is still performing well. Because what I can't tell you confidently is if Xander's struggling, that Xander's going to turn it around. I can't tell you confidently that some of these other players, are they going to turn it around? I still feel like Machado is going to find his moment. I still feel like Tatis is going to find his moment. So I'm more encouraged that those three have struggled and they're sitting at 17-8 rather than if that was flipped.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. But just hear me out for a second. And I think there's more upside with what has happened and what you're
Remember yesterday we were talking about the team thing?
More upside. But hear me out. Imagine a world right now where they're 17-8. That's a great record. And in the first 25 games of the season, Fernando Tatis Jr. has hit 8 home runs. He had hit 8 last year through April, by the way. At the final day of April, his tally was 8. Same thing, season started in March, but he had hit 8. I'd like to see that, and I'm with you. It doesn't give you the same upside. You might be like, dude, they're not 17-8 without Tatis. 8 homers, 24 RBIs in 25 games. This guy is the team. That's what I'd be saying potentially. Hey, he's won in 3 games, right? Hey, remember the 2-homer game? I'm just making it up. So I'm with you. There's not the same upside, but I do want to. Because you just said, hey, I trust Machado to do it. I trust Tatis will get it. I'm losing trust on Tatis. That's just my point. That I need to see it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah, listen, I think that's fair. I'll just say that, and I feel like we've had a little bit of this with a couple of people that we've talked to over the last week, whether it's somebody saying, yeah, I'm not sure because of their rotation. If somebody's looking at how much Tatis and Machado are struggling. For the Padres to be 17-8 under the circumstances, they're not playing perfect baseball. They're playing good baseball.
Yeah. They're
not playing perfect baseball. That there could come a time by the time we get to July 1st. Maybe Pavetta's out there. Maybe Giolito is having an impact for the Padres. Maybe Joe Musgrove is on the mound. We'll have to wait and see. But it hasn't been a smooth start, even though the record is as good as it is. I agree with you that I do feel like there's a lot more upside to this team based off of their circumstances.
I wonder, it's interesting because you've made this point, and I appreciate it because I haven't necessarily gotten there yet with the year. There's the inevitable stumble that plays out with 29 of the 30 teams, even 30 of the 30 teams sometimes. But, there's a team that could win 107 games. There's not much stumbling when you win 107 games. Assuming the Padres are like most of the other teams, and they're not in for a historic year where they set the wins record for the franchise and win 100+ games. I'd love to see it. What leads to the stumble? Is it because this offense is lacking from its stars? Is it, there's this inevitability in the rotation without Giolito and Pavetta? Like, what will we say when they do drop 4 of 5? What will it be a result of? Their lack of offense? Their rotation? Does the bullpen stumble somewhere along the way for a week or two?
For me, it's more you have in your rotation right now, you're depending on Waldron, you're depending on Walker Buehler,
right?
You're depending on Marquez. You're basically asking Michael King and Randy Vasquez, don't stumble, right?
You're right.
Like I think for me, I think it always goes back to pitching. But of course, you're going to need your bats to obviously deliver. So I do think if they do stumble, it's probably more to do with a question mark with their rotation.
And here's the other thing about, by the way, it's like it's almost inevitable when it comes to a stumble. Like you're talking again, maybe there's a team in there. Like I'm just going to look at the Padres schedule real quick, and we know, for example, they're coming home and they're playing the Cubs. Right, Cubs have gotten off to a good start. We know Arizona has gotten off to a good start. The other thing that maybe is inevitable is just you run into the wrong team at the wrong time. Like Arizona is good, or Chicago is good, or you run into aces. But I mean, this to me, the fact that they are 17-8, is
I know.
I mean, to some respect, it's shocking.
I know.
Like honestly, jaw-droppingly shocking. When they were 2-5 and trailing in Boston some rainy Sunday afternoon 4-0, I couldn't have even imagined it. And
you're sitting back, you're like, they're going to go 2-6, and what are they doing with their rotation? No, I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you. There was clear frustration. By the way, maybe we should do that more, where we're down 4 runs. You and I are ready. I swear on that game, the game against the Red Sox.
Yeah,
they go down 4-0. You and I are just starting to do the show together. No, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, I'm going to freaking rip into them tomorrow.
Yeah.
I finally have a platform, in San Diego where I could talk about the Padres if things aren't going good. And then I just went quiet because they were unbelievable. Yesterday, we're like, we're going to rip into Machado and Tatis. Then they play well. I will say, you said something that I hate to hear you say it, but I completely understand where you're coming from.
What'd I say?
You very simply said you're losing that confidence in Tatis. It's fair. It's fair. I know where you're coming from.
Sucks.
I mean,
it literally sucks because Alan, I mean, his first 3 years are not like his last 4. And I don't know. I could pinpoint a million things. It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop that I referenced? I don't know the reason. I'm not even going to go theorize it. Well, it's mental. Oh, it's a shoulder. Oh, I don't know. Nobody knows. He must not. They must not. Steven Souza, their hitting coach, doesn't. Their other hitting coach didn't. It's on him. And this is 3+ years. I went yesterday. I put it into Twitter search, Tatis OPS, because I remember there was a tweet like where he ranks this year or the last 3 years in baseball and like all these offensive categories. And he's dropped significantly, right? But I found a random tweet from 2021 where it's like, Tatis is a monster. His OPS is this. His home run total is this. Number 1, number 2, number 3 in baseball in like 9 offensive categories. Random May day in 2021. I'm like, someone please find that player for me. Where is that awesome at every category on some random May day player?
Yeah, the issue is if you're this far removed from it.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. So I think maybe there's a good chance this season might be the year where you really truly kind of recalibrate what you think Tatis, what the expectation should be for Tatis. Xander Bogaerts, when he left the Boston Red Sox and he came to the San Diego Padres, there was this vision that you had for him. He's told you 3 years in a row, you got to readjust your vision. And now we don't look at Xander the same. That might be the same. That might be exactly what happens to Tatis.
What do you guys think? I mean, we've talked about it so much, but 70470, start it with the word team. You can call us as well.
Well,
877-767-4760.
I think the question is, do you still have confidence that Tatis can be the player that he once was? And I think it's as simple as that.
Question.
I think it's as simple as that.
Simple question, hard answer. Do you have confidence Tatis can be the player he once was? 877-767-4760 or text us 70470. Start it with the word team. We'd love to hear from Padres fans on this Friday afternoon. Plus, if you missed Kevin Acee, you'll hear a conversation from Mexico City coming up at 5:30 here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again for our friends at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and we've been telling you for a while about their hotel and spa at Jamul. You can experience just a terrific spot, elevated luxury, refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. You can take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. While you're there, you will love their dining options, including Jamul 23 with their lobster buffet every day. Enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. Start your morning with their new signature breakfast buffet, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30 a.m. They have made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, sweet and savory favorites. And then, of course, there's Tony Gwynn's with their endless dining. You can enjoy San Diego's favorite endless dining experience, Wednesday through Sunday, at Tony Gwynn's Sports Pub at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right. False alarm. All right. SDFC is back tomorrow night when they take on Portland. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begin at 6 p.m. on your home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. I sense a W. We got to get a W. Come on, boys. Okay.
Put it into
Come on, fellas.
The ether. Make it reality.
Let's go.
6-match winless streak, 4 straight losses. We'll see if SDFC bounces back. Right here on San Diego Sports 760. This is on our text line, Alan, talking about Tatis, all right? And you can text us, 70470. Start it with the word team. You can hit us up on the talkback mic. Open the app. Search for 760.
Got to get the app.
Hit the red microphone, and then we can play your talkbacks on air or call us, 877-767-4760. 760 says, I think post-shoulder surgery, he might never be the same, at least with power. We saw it with Bellinger and Simeon too. I think he can still be an 800 OPS guy consistently, but never 40-plus homers again. P.S. When is Clay Meredith going to be on the show? Need to hear from him. He's tied now with Mason Miller for the longest scoreless streak in franchise history. Maybe Monday.
Nobody needs. Yeah, we'll work on that. We're on that. It's a good idea.
Do you think that his health And what's played out with Tatis as a younger player is the reason why this is the player he is on offense.
Maybe it could be. But nobody's asking for him with 40 plus homers.
Right. It's a big number.
Like I think if you told me before, let's say the season hadn't started, and let me just give numbers to you. Steve, we're
I'm listening.
About to start the season, and I told you he's going to have 28 home runs and 95 RBIs.
Ooh, I'll take it.
That's not 40 plus.
Yeah. And it's a good year. And
it's a
I'm
good year.
assuming high batting and on base in there, probably.
I think you're asking him to do, you're not asking him to do something that you don't feel like he's capable of doing.
Right.
But now the question is he even capable of doing that?
Will he have a year in his...
I meant before.
Yeah.
Before
I
the
mean,
season
it's
started.
a great question. Like, do you think right now he's capable of hitting 28 home runs this year? That seems very unlikely.
No, I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't.
It would be very surprising, correct?
Can he hit 20? He hit 24
Hopefully-
last year.
Yeah, hopefully he could hit 20.
But he's going to also have to have months where he's
Right, he's pretty good.
right.
Now, again, he had multiple months last year. April, we said he had 8 by the end of April. And then I think September, he had 6 or 7 home runs last year. So it's not like all hope is lost. But I understand the texter's point, which is like all hope may be lost in the 2019 through 2021 version of Fernando Tatis Jr. Ever fully reappearing. Like, I think he could be that player for a month. This has always been the case now recently. Can he have a month? He better have a month. They're paying him $350 million. Better have a month. But can he do it for a year? And I don't know the answer to that. And I'm increasingly feeling like he may not be able to do it.
I don't think he can do it for a year because it's been far enough removed where I don't think he can do that unless, and if he made us all look stupid, then that's okay.
I hope he does,
that's a good thing. But you have to go off of what he's done recently. I can't all of a sudden tell you, if I told you, is Walker Buehler going to be the same pitcher he was in the postseason for the Dodgers? The answer is no. I don't think he can be that. That doesn't mean maybe that's a bad comp, but we're going off of recent history. That's what we're going off.
What about this? I love this text, by the way. 619, elephant in the room. I mean, he put steroids, but PEDs. Like for all the, I mean, I'll say it more in the wrap-up show than I do here, but I mean, everyone outside of San Diego that follows this sport would say Fernando Tatis Jr., there's 2 versions. There's pre-steroids, there's post-steroids. It's not even a conversation. That's a factual statement for most baseball fans. Here, we beat around that bush.
Let's not beat around the bush. Is it fair?
Agree? Do you agree?
Is it fair?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Unless you did it post your 81 game suspension or whatever the suspension was. 160.
Well, no, 80.
He was half. 80, he was 80, half the season 80. Or 80 or whatever it was.
80.
Unless you do it post that where you put up monster numbers, how can that not linger over your head? Of course it's going to linger over your head.
Exactly.
And this doesn't have to be well, everyone outside of the city, San Diego, doesn't want to talk about it.
Right.
If that's how it is, then that's how it is. Like, I think we should be honest about that conversation. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it doesn't. But until you do it after your 80 game suspension, how does that not linger in the conversation?
I've always said that I thought he'd be damned if he does or doesn't, because I always thought if Tatis got back to Tatis and went, let's say his next 3 years were 39, 39, 41 home runs, I think people nationally would just be like, well, he's on PEDs again. He's like, if he ever gets back to that 40 homer, 110 RBI year, people just be like, he's juicing.
That's funny.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but I'm with you too. I don't care what narrative you have. I just want to see a better version of him post that suspension.
Yes, exactly. And it's, again, fascinating conversation. The reason we've done it more with Tatis than Machado in recent history also is Machado somehow, some way you look up at the end of the year and he's done it.
Yeah, you're right.
Like the numbers work for whatever reason with Machado. And then with Tatis, they haven't looked the same, obviously, over the last 3 years. What do you got, Brent?
I was going to say, I just remember last year, we kind of went through this with Manny to where, like, you know, I remember the rap about once a week, but do you think Manny will hit 15 homers? And then do you think he'll hit 20? And then he kind of had that 3-week stretch where he kind of caught himself up a little bit, but now it's just like it's shifted to Fernando.
858, are you sure it's the shoulder and not PEDs for Tatis? 760, Tatis hit 25 homers last year, 21 the year before, 25 in 2023, and then was injured, suspended the year before. Hasn't had more than 25 home runs in over 4 years. That's who he is, and that's okay, is what 760 says.
I would say it's okay. again, we'll go back to, we are sitting here on April 24th, and he's yet to hit a home run.
Yeah.
So the only reason why, if he just had, and Machado, it's not like Machado has 7.
Right.
Machado has 2, and he had them early on.
Right. Good point.
Laureano, by the way, has 4. He had those kind of early on. Sheets only does it to end a game.
He's got
Sheets
3.
But Sheets is like, either I'm ending a game or I'm not hitting a home run.
You're right.
It's not like the Padres are known for a team that's just, I mean, what has everybody said in the postseason going in last year? You're not going to win because you don't have enough guys, that the slug isn't high enough, and you're not hitting enough home runs. Tatis, if he ends up with 25, there's just going to be less chatter about him. He's got 0, and it's April 24th, which is why it's a conversation. Frankly, to be honest, to have the conversation about Tatis, we'll keep going back to it. If they were 8-17, we would be we'd be unlistenable.
Yeah,
because that's all the conversation would be about. They have been so protected because there's 15 other stories before you get to them.
Completely agree. Let's hear from Kevin Acee from Mexico City. If you missed our conversation from earlier, you'll hear it next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by Unbound.org. The Padres are off today. They start their series in Mexico City against the Diamondbacks tomorrow night. We got 3 more NBA playoff games going on right now. Currently at the half in Philadelphia, it's the Celtics up on the 76ers 54-47. And let's see here, with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Lakers are up on the Rockets 29-23. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
All right, San Diego Sports 760. If you missed Kevin Acee earlier here on Schaefer and Sliwa, he's in Mexico City, but I started the conversation by asking him if he was in Mexico or not.
I am. I'm in my room. I'm watching one of these traffic circles they have.
Yeah.
It's freaking insanity.
Yeah, and were you down? Because I was there.
These people are so calm too, because I've been in the cars, obviously, and they're amazing drivers because it's just insane.
There's cars everywhere. Yeah. So
organized chaos.
It really, when I was there 3 years ago, I was just enamored by, I mean, culturally, it's just so different, which makes it, unique when you're traveling to check it out. How would you describe for our listeners that haven't been to Mexico City, and you were there in the ballpark 3 years ago, you'll be there this weekend. What's the whole experience like from the baseball side of things to the off the field part of it as well? How unique is this compared to what you're typically doing over the course of 162 traveling around this team?
It's quite a bit different for me, and it's different for the players, and that many of them will participate in something, with the kids, and like they did today, they have a team dinner. There's a lot of sponsors here. They came to Denver and then came here. So, I mean, it's like a big to-do. It's almost like quasi playoffs, but it's a huge hassle. And to be honest with you, it will, they are convinced, go smoother this time. I mean, the traffic here is just, it's terrible. And just like New York City, there's only so much a police escort can do. It's just wild to get around this city.
Kevin, let's just go back real quick to yesterday's day game against the Colorado Rockies. Obviously, Padres in a tough spot there walking into the ninth. They're down 8-5. Maybe they're going to lose their first series. It would be the first one they'd lose. They win 5 series in a row. Come back in the game. Obviously, we know how it happens. A walk, 3 singles, and then the 3-run homer by Gavin Sheets. What has this team shown you so far? And you could tell me what you think it means, even though we are still relatively early in the season. The comebacks, the down 4-0 in Boston, the down 6-0 against the Mariners and coming back. They've just had so many great moments this early in the season. What does that signify for you?
It's remarkable. I'll get to what it might signify, but I mean, you mentioned those comebacks. Then there's also these other 5 games that were tied, 2 in the 9th, 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 7th, and that's when the Padres scored the deciding run in those innings for 5 other victories. They've only had, I think, 6 victories where it was like, oh yeah, okay, they never trailed or whatever. It's crazy, and it's really, really impressive because every team talks about it. Oh yeah, we believed it in the dugout. We always know, and this guy can do it, and that guy can do it, and every team says it, and it's not very true for a lot of teams. I got to stop looking at the traffic. It's crazy. There's just no way I could do it. It's like when I go to the Dominican Republic, I go, no, I'm not getting a car. And then they tell me I could. Anyway.
Just live stream it.
Team,
throw it on there. Yeah.
It's what I was just watching. I can't even describe. But this team, has some problems. How about you score in the first inning? They scored 3 runs in the first inning. They outscored their opponents 24-1 in the 9th inning, and 21 of those runs have been crucial runs, right? The 5 they had to score against the Mariners that night, the 5 they scored yesterday. It's wild and super, super impressive what they've done. But the fact is, it does seem like it can't continue if certain guys, and we all know who I'm talking about, don't start hitting better, hitting more consistently. I do want to say, if you do break it down, the big guys have had some big hits, and that's part of what they get paid for. But Jackson Merrill, not Xander Bogaerts, he's actually playing like Boston Xander Bogaerts, but Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis, who, by the way, Fernando Tatis the last 2 days, they're the first 2 days where you go, oh, well, that's struggling Fernando. And so I don't know what's happening there. Maybe he'll pull out of it real quick, but generally that lasts for about a week. So that'd be a real waste here in the altitude. But they're super impressive, but also a little bit scary.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider with us right now from Mexico City. Padres Diamondbacks will start a 2-game set tomorrow in Mexico. You reported recently, Kevin, on the future of the ownership structure of the Padres. We know about, obviously, Feliciano and his wife, right? Kwanzaa Jones. What else do you know about how this is going to play out? Alfred Harpelou, right, has been a part of the ownership. Yep. He's expected to remain a part of the ownership. I think he owns the Mexico City Red Devils, where this game is going to be played this weekend. But what do we know about this ownership group?
Well, Alfredo Harpelou will probably be the second largest single shareholder, which he has been. He was behind the trust, which was Sheil Seidler and her children. And so he'll still be a pretty significant owner. The fact that Feliciano probably owns around 40%, I mean, that's a big stake. It is. He owns a greater stake, like the value of it, than the group that owns the entirety of the Tampa Bay Rays. So like, it's a big stake, but there's still a lot of voices. And then when you go to make improvements, payroll, that sort of thing, it's either Feliciano does it on his own and then his stake, like, it's affected. You don't just put money in and you don't get like a little bit more in the company, or he has to do a cash call like Peter did, or you take on more debt like Peter did. So it's a little, it's basically kind of status quo, except Jose Feliciano has more money than Peter Seidler ever did, certainly has more money than the current ownership group has. So there still is a lot of hope that, they'll invest a little more in payroll, give a little more freedom to AJ Preller. And I don't know that it changes much in terms of where I see it, because it was always, I don't care if he owned 100%. It was always, show me what you're going to do with the team. So that's where we're at.
Kevin Acee joining us here. He's in Mexico City for the Padres and the Diamondbacks game. Kevin, we were having this conversation a little bit earlier, and I know so much of the time the attention goes to, you look at the elite in Major League Baseball, typically starting off with the Dodgers. But as you look at games like this weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks, we were just looking at the standings. The top 9 teams in the NL are separated by 4 games. And I know this is, will it stay like this? Probably not. But as you look at just kind of the bigger scope and you look at teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks, how important are the other teams going up against? Yeah, it's easy for everybody to get up for a Padre-Dodger game, but when you start really looking into this, your season is going to be made not on the 13 games that you played against the Dodgers, but all these other squads. Just the games against the Diamondbacks and the Cubs and some of these other matchups that you have coming up, just how integral do those games become? And I know they might not be the sexiest, but they still count the same in the standings.
Well, and when you're talking about, okay, so let's say Diamondbacks Cubs, you're talking about maybe playoff positioning, right? What if you'd won a couple more games against the Cubs last year? So obviously every win is going to help you in your playoff positioning, but when it comes to tiebreakers, which look, it often comes down to, or it might come down to that, every year we're looking at that at the end. So those games are really big. And then one of my markers for whether you're a good team, because it's one of the few, kind of random stats that actually is 99.999% accurate. Winning teams, playoff teams beat bad teams. They crush bad teams. They build their record on beating bad teams. So the fact that the Padres are 5-1 against the Rockies speaks well of the Padres. Take a look at the 2023 Padres and what happened to them against bad teams. So underachieving teams don't crush bad teams. And so the last couple years, and it looks like this year, the Padres are taking care of business. Those are huge games to me. When you get later in the season and you have a bigger body of evidence, and also you're now going to be facing the Dodgers, who've decided, oh yeah, now we can play, now we can pitch Blake Snell, now we can pitch Tyler Glass now. You can start to measure yourself against those teams. But like right now, it's just like collecting wins. And yes, it can come back to haunt you if you say drop 3 games against the Cubs next week.
Yeah, good insight from Kevin Acee from Mexico. Here's something we tossed around earlier, Kevin. I want to get your thoughts on it. It's kind of subjective and anecdotal and hard to pinpoint, but I want your thoughts. The Padres, as you know, have played internationally a ton over the last decade. I remember Monterrey, twice in Mexico City, South Korea. This is more specific to their influence in Mexico. How do you see their brand in Mexico, and how do they see their brand in Mexico? Is this something they see as like an untapped area, or an area that needs to be tapped into more?
Yeah, it's an area that can always be tapped into more, but they have done a remarkable job, because it was before my time of really paying attention to it. It was kind of sad how disconnected they were from especially Tijuana. But they, yes, Mexico, the Dodgers had such an incredible head start. The Dodgers are the brand. The Dodgers and the Yankees are the brand around the world. And it goes beyond like baseball. It's like fashion as well. Walk around and you see it. But, and I would say this is all over the United States now, it's actually pretty remarkable for me as someone who travels around. But you do go, and I was just in the Dominican Republic a couple of weeks ago. When we talked a couple of times, I was there. Yeah. And the Padres, you could, based on who you talk to and what you see, you could argue the Padres are the team of the DR, like because of Fernando, basically. Is kind of anecdotally what I'd say. It'll be something I'll be working on. It's their brand is growing like a lot, and they've done a good job with their past City Connects, and then these ones, which they're going to wear on Sunday. They've done a good job with that in terms of cross cultural, and I think that's a credit to them, credit to Nike. And so, yeah, this is big. This is big for the Padres. There's a reason that they are the team that's now doing this twice.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I'm glad you're able to go there with us. I'm just curious about, it just feels like Major League Baseball in general is trying to spread the game as well, more internationally. And it feels like the Padres have been a little bit at the forefront of that. The last decade.
And John, to just play off of that, and Kevin, you tell us 10 years ago, maybe they're not getting this game. I'm just saying in general, maybe 15 years ago, they might not be. I do think the perception of their brand is different today than clearly it was 15 years ago. And I think that's clearly moving in the right direction.
How about 2018 when they went to Monterrey?
Yep.
They made money because they were giving away home games, right? Like and MLB reimburses them. And of course that was going to be the Dodgers, those home games. Yep. But now it's, look, the Padres, for the same reason, besides winning, that they're selling out and that they're attractive in San Diego. And this was a part of Peter's genius. Star players. It's not just winning, star players. And especially as you go into play in the Latin American countries, it's star players. And so to compete with the Dodger Yankee brand, you've got, let's just say Fernando Tatis Jr. Yes, Manny Machado. Okay. But Fernando Tatis Jr.
Great stuff. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It does. Kevin, enjoy the weekend in Mexico City, and we'll catch up with you when you get back to San Diego next week.
Right on. Take care.
All right, getting you ready for this weekend in Mexico City. Updates on the NBA postseason and NFL draft next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760, a final time. Final time. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. Big weekend
fun,
ahead.
Put it here.
It was fun, dude. Here. That was fun. Final time. Oh, the memories.
Brian, it was great, man.
Things come at you fast. This week, no, we're kidding. We're back Monday, we think. This weekend, Padres Diamondbacks.
Yep.
This weekend, NBA playoffs.
Mhm.
This weekend, rounds 4 through 7 of the NFL draft. And tonight, I mean, the second round's underway right now. I would call that a busy sports weekend.
By the way, in the NBA, nobody's eliminated yet. So you have 4 games tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
And 4 games Sunday.
I like that.
And then the anticipation, because we didn't get a Padres game on a freaking Friday.
So we get
now
that.
Saturday all of a sudden becomes that much bigger.
If the Rockets are down 3-0, and we'll see if they are or not. It's just the second quarter. The Lakers are winning by 5 in Houston. If the Rockets are down 3-0 and KD's not 100%, he's coming back for game 4 to save the season, or is the season over if you're KD? Like, what are you thinking if you're Kevin Durant down 3-0?
It's weird with KD because KD is not one of those players that misses a ton of games. We're talking about what he did in the regular season. He played 78 games. If you play 78 regular season games and are not there for 2 of the first 3 postseason games, you got an issue. Something going on.
Yeah.
So
Like
does
a
he?
health issue, you're saying?
Yeah, maybe he does play. I think he does play. They're playing on Sunday, so it's not going to be an extended rest.
Right. Just 2 days later.
I'll say he goes just because they're down 3-0.
Yeah. I almost feel like, I mean, certainly if they're down 2-1, you have more reason,
Sure.
seemingly to play. But it's been an interesting series because the Stars have missed a lot of it. Obviously, no Luka, we known.
Right.
No KD for 2 of the 3. No Austin Reeves.
And it shows you something too. It's like you don't have to have just the talent. You can win in other ways, and the Lakers are finding other ways to win. It shows you so much too. Like, you got to be connected as a team. Like, I think back to the Padres, some of their playoff runs that they've had. Of course, don't get me wrong, talent is such a big thing, but did they not have the talent in 2024? They did. Maybe you could look at experience or pressure. Like, there's so many things that come into play into winning. There were a lot of people that were talking about this series. Remember last year with Oklahoma City Thunder, it was like, yeah, they're talented, but they don't have enough experience.
Right.
So to have real success, it takes a lot of factors.
Oh my gosh. So how about the 2023 Padres? That might be the most talented team in the history of the franchise. I mean, you had Juan Soto in his true prime.
Never felt like they were connected. Never felt like there was the chemistry.
So it is beyond talent. There's a lot that goes into it, obviously. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been watching a lot of NBA postseason this year.
So your wife is just like, she's all
diehard.
in?
She's diehard.
Has she always been like a diehard NBA fan?
She loves sports. She grew up a Sonics fan.
Yep.
Then they left. Did you hear about that? That was a joke. They left.
By the way,
they went to Oklahoma City.
By the way, I love that she grew up a Sonics fan.
Yeah.
I think Seattle was one of the best NBA markets that they had.
I know. And then she hated Oklahoma City because of that. But now she loves Shea. See, here's what I'm finding.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Now she loves. Here's what I find interesting. I think there's a lot of people now these days, especially like younger people, that like the players as much as like the teams. It's like, I like Shea. I like Wemby.
Some truth
where I'm
to
like,
this.
no, I like teams. I've never been an individual player, although I do like Wemby.
No, but I'm with you. I think there's I'm with you. I grew up team wise, right? Like I was
had your team
San Diego Charger fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're gone, then I'm gone.
Yep. Team's gone.
But there's a lot I'll use LeBron as the example. There's a lot of LeBron fans. They didn't care where he went.
Yeah.
Then there was a lot of Laker fans that were, yeah, but LeBron's not one of us. I'm like, what are they doing? They're like, he's the Los Angeles Lakers. So you're right. And I think the newer generation, they follow players more than they follow teams. You know what's crazy about this? 2 straight possessions. This is a little, obviously a little surprising, but obviously with all the injuries that the Lakers have, Bronny's had some injury, or Bronny's getting some opportunities. Bronny hit a 3 and then got an alley-oop and got like just a very nice,
amazing
alley-oop from his dad.
Incredible.
Oh, was it from LeBron?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's freaking cool.
That is, I mean, didn't LeBron say, by the way, real quick?
Yeah.
Didn't LeBron recently say, correct me if I'm wrong, that one of the most surreal moments of his career is actually being out there the postseason and you lock eyes with your son. You're like, we're doing this. Like, this is now the postseason. Like, that is insane.
That's pretty cool.
Insane. Brent, did you have something?
Oh, I was gonna say I was the opposite growing up. When I was a kid, I was more into teams in the NBA. I was a huge Bulls fan because of Jordan. But when free agency kind of went crazy and everyone just jumped around, then I kind of started being more of a fan of individuals because I loved Allen Iverson. I loved Kevin Garnett. I didn't necessarily like the 76ers, the Timberwolves. I just kind of started to follow individuals when I got older.
Did you follow Jordan to Washington?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot.
I wasn't a Wizards fan, but I wanted him to do well.
I thought he was better as a Wizard than
it wasn't close. That's not an argument.
I remember him more as a Wizard.
Well, of course you do. I had season tickets, I being my family, to Landover Arena in the DC suburbs. Wow. My dad was in DC. My mom was in Philly. We had season tickets. I saw him play for the Wizards. I think back then they might have been downtown at that point.
Damn, that's cool.
I think they were. I don't even know. I'll have to look actually.
Did the McVay story earlier. Now this story.
Me and MJ
I like
are boys.
This.
Me and MJ.
I like this.
I'll call him after the show. Maybe he'd be a good guest. All right, we're back Monday at 3 p.m.
We don't have room on Monday for
him. There's maybe some midweek. If you missed anything, go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. Back Monday at 3 for Brent and Alan. I'm John. This has been Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.